Little Mr. Doxxit. He sat on his duffet, drinking his Red Bull and smoking his vape. Along came a snake and sat down beside him and frightened Mr. Doxxit into flames.
Well, as you all know, it actually might be content that just keeps the drama in play. But that's part 3. We are only on part 2. Buckle up, friends. This is from, again, April 20th from Twitter Spaces. Also, April 21st from YouTube. I will break the difference of where they're from as we go. This is part 2. Please do not send hate to anybody that we discuss in this video. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only. This is based on my opinion and my opinion only. This is all falls under fair use content. Let's go.
Oh, frog. That's cute.
I am going to enlighten you on a lot of stuff in the next upcoming days. It's probably going to be a little much, okay? I should probably give you that warning now. We're probably going to learn a lot about buzzwords, terms.
Why are you the teacher? Where did you learn this, thing that you're teaching? Where did it come from? I'd like to know. Where's your credentials?
I've been talking about the word doxing, stalking, those words, so.
Oh, I know all about that because I've got 8 years on this platform calling people out for it. So, that's what I'll call to it because it's a fact, right? So I'd just like to know where you're pulling this from. Actually, you said something. You said that you didn't mind digging into people, their past or something. What did she say? Do you know, Navy? A lot of people took issue with it. I've got the chat response to it, but I don't have the clip.
I remember, and I'm paraphrasing here. It had to do with JLR digging into his past. Don't be surprised if you do that to somebody that someone's going to do it. Someone's not going to do it to you.
No, they've already done
is
it.
What she said.
Yeah. Oh, then okay. Then she didn't say she was going to do it, or was that a veiled kind of threat? I guess she can elaborate. It's already happened to me. Yeah, all of my past is out there. Just absolutely no charges, no criminal charges. It's all out there. So.
Bear with me.
In this community that tries to use buzzwords constantly in that context. But
Me, I promise, in the end, you'll still love me. If you love me now for standing on the facts, you're going to love me still at the end of what I'm getting us into.
So you made this promise, so I'm asking you to address the things that Navy corrected you on. These are the facts. Well, let me give an example.
Buckle up, keep your hands and feet inside the ride at all times.
So I posted on the community tab to let everybody know that Betty just threatened me in the exact way that JLR did from their official PayPal accounts. Wow.
Don't worry, if you missed part 1, part 2 will be plenty of recaps of the same nonsense over and over and over again. You haven't missed anything yet. And no, nobody's seen the PayPals to this date.
And I'll go into that in just a second. I can get my stinking fucking screen to stop. Hold on. What do I got to do here? It usually stays on. Come on, bro. Can you talk Navy? Check it for me while I'm doing this.
Check.
Nice. So I want.
Okay, good.
Huh? Oh,
good.
Good. I wanted to go to YouTube again because it's just too good. They just feed the content, bro. But
he's acknowledging at least that it was about the content.
Unfortunately, it would clog my channel. You know what I'm saying? Like it wouldn't do any good for the last stream, which I think was a good response to I'm sure that the JLR stream could apply to Betty the same way. So I'll just say that, you know what I'm saying? Like the JLR mobile stream that I did on YouTube can apply directly to Betty in the same way that it applied to JLR, just a little different. But anyway, what we're going to do is talk about how Betty just threatened me the same way JLR did.
So at this point, he's still finding it humorous.
And then what I'll do about that also. So this will be fun. So Navy, how are you, buddy?
Did cut the majority of Navy speaking out of this video just for context purposes because we are discussing Uni's behavior and nobody else's. Yes, there's questions that could be asked, but that's for a later date.
And then, same thing happened to me. Some point, and in the morning you do PT every day, and
Yep.
I kinked my neck, and nothing came from it, bro. Like, it might have been sore for a day.
Yeah.
Years and years later, it comes back and hits me all the time, dude. Like, and of course, I just had that back problem, and they did, all these scans and X-rays. They're like, yeah, you've got the same, what you just said, minor degeneration or something like that in the lower spine. I think it just happens because we're out there so much running and doing stuff in the military that it puts strain down there. So,
but in true Uni fashion, once again, he had to even one up Navy.
Okay, all right, we'll talk about that later.
Yes,
hope you feel better, but you will be streaming with us tomorrow because of you'll be chilling. Okay, nice. And it's a Friday. No, is it Friday?
That's Friday.
Oh, good. It's Friday, and it's YouTube payday, so that'll be nice. Okay, let's get.
Uni fails to realize that speaking about payday, money, stuff like that all the time makes people cringe.
On topic here. Sorry, I just did a long stream, so I kind of don't want to sit and talk about all this again, but we need to because it's good to let the community know, those that care, what's going on. So let me start from the beginning, but let me do it in 20 seconds. I know that seems dumb, but it'll work.
I'm sure you all know that this is definitely longer than 20 seconds.
Today, I streamed for 3 hours with a presentation that I put together, reacting to what JLR did last night, and essentially tragedy pimping, stalking, lying, threatening, doxing people. That's a good little summation, though. Give me 10 more seconds, because the second part of the stream was basically going in and showing that JLR has not just done a lot of the major things that we all talk about. Duh.
Make sure you are applying your uni logic, people.
Anyone that does the kind of insane things he's been doing over the years is going to do a lot of lesser fuckity shit and then even lesser fuckity shit. Because I think he does extreme. So we got lower and then middle and extreme. He does extreme at least every few months, if not all the time. So he's got the middle fuckity shit and the lesser fuckity shit don't even get paid attention to by the man.
This is exactly the point. He does enough bad on his own. You didn't need to lie on him, Uni. And that's what you failed to realize in this whole situation, is you didn't need to take it this far, nor did you need to lie or inflate anything on JLR, because he does enough on his own.
Right? If you even just took the lesser fuckity shit this guy does all the time, and it's really nice to be able to say fuckity on Twitter, because I can't say it on YouTube.
That's a lie. That's just unnecessary.
I went into an archive out there, which I hope all of the clip channels will go to the channel I showed. Now listen to me, clip channels.
Now listen to me, clip channels. Excuse me?
If that channel ever disappears, if that wealth of video content that I showed of him just being this monster to these families of murdered children disappears, no worries. It is fully archived forever. We have those videos forever, and we will dispense them with no change, no watermark, no nothing, from an archive source to anyone that needs them if they ever disappear from that main source.
So basically what he is telling you is that him or his mods have gone in and they have downloaded all of the previously recorded content of somebody else's that had gone in and documented all of JLR's bullshit over the last however many years. So Uni went through and downloaded all of that, not his own content that they compiled, which again is no big deal, but it's just facts that matter. So
that triggered JLR to threaten me, and I went over that on YouTube, and I responded to him a little bit, and I didn't expect to have more than 50 people in there. And
he was poking intentionally for a reaction.
That's just because a lot of times when you do a mobile stream on YouTube, it doesn't share it the same way it does a normal stream. Though I think because this mobile stream most likely wasn't demonetized, like as I normally do an intro and it's got people cussing and stuff, I think...
Can you get to the point, dude? Land the plane.
Though I think because this mobile stream most likely wasn't demonetized, like as I normally do an intro and it's got people cussing and stuff, I think it did share it because we had 200 some people in there. So I did go a little longer than I wanted to, and I read the chat and responded to people.
As you saw, he responded to like 3 comments in that stream.
But as soon as I ended it, it's very ironic because I didn't get anything until I ended it.
You'll notice as he continues to ramble on, a timeline starts to form. Current time, he claims that the PayPals were sent back to back. JLR and BHB, they had to have been working together. However, factually, we know that supposedly, allegedly, JLR sent a PayPal for $1. Uni went live, streamed about it, went off. Then BHB saw Uni going off about it and sent hers after that. So there was some time between those. But we will get to what BHB said and how that all went here in a little bit.
And When I ended it, I got a PayPal from Battery Bullhorn Betty. So, but what she did is she doxed my grandfather, which I don't know why. It's really strange.
For transparency reasons, once again, we have never seen these PayPals, so we do not know what the PayPals contained. However, it was done on PayPal, and I do have the clips of what Betty claims she sent. Uni says she doxed his grandfather, but factually, again, it's not a dox.
And she tried to do some doxy stuff to my father. It didn't work.
He tried to do some doxy stuff to my father, but it didn't work. So again, confirming that it is no dox.
Dox through the heart, and you're to blame. You give doxing a bad name.
I mean, my dad's a really well-known guy. He's in our hometown, and he owned, past tense, Betty. This is like another nonsense thing here.
Definitely not another nonsense thing, unless you mean another nonsensical production. Yes, it is. Definitely another nonsensical production, starring the one and only Uni-doxx.
He owned a body shop. So he hasn't owned it for a long time. He's well off because of everything now.
Now, this is my opinion and only my opinion, but I think JLR included other family members in the current happenings that are going on between JLR and Uni because of Uni's own statements and the hopes of involving other people. Do I agree with it? Absolutely not. But I think Uni played right into that hand.
And, it's weird that she would message me about that. But, there's different owners there now, so I don't know how it even applies. I don't even think about that kind of thing anymore. That was from my childhood type stuff.
That was from my childhood type stuff.
And growing up, because he didn't own it until we were older.
But in the same breath, he didn't own it until you were older. Uni, you contradict yourself within the same sentence and the same breath.
Dad, who cares? That's my grandfather, has nothing to do with anything. But again, this is what she's trying to do. They have nothing, right? They have nothing on me. So they are trying to make implications that they're going to harass my family.
If the contents of the PayPal messages are as they claim them to be, I don't agree with that tactic at all because, yes, it is an intimidation tactic. However, it is not doxing. And he admits that there was implications of harassment. At this point in time, it still wasn't a hard dox. Maybe this is when the soft dox started. I don't know about y'all, but I definitely have a limp dox.
In the same way that they harass other people. But I'd like to see them try that because if they have looked at my family, typically when doxers do that, they immediately stop.
Oh, Uni, this does not have the effect that you think it has. In fact, I think this backfired on you because you kind of welcomed them to continue to dig into your family by some of these statements. Again, my opinion, not that I agree with it, but it was like, okay, let's play here.
Immediately.
And I have horrible secondhand embarrassment throughout this entire one, too.
Because they notice a family member of mine and what that person does.
Well, we obviously know that didn't stop them from pursuing.
I don't know, man. It's really strange. Maybe they're just really bad at this.
Sadly, Uni, this now applies to you also.
But I don't know. Again, all this stuff, it was funny because in that stream that I did about JLR, and I'll turn it over to Navy because I don't want to ramble. I had mentioned how Betty wasn't really. Oh, and I'll tell you something really funny I did. I had mentioned how Betty.
Don't worry. He will definitely not miss one bit of rambling. Don't worry.
He hadn't really come after me, so I don't really care about Betty. I said, and I quote, Betty seems to be doing her own thing.
And yes, he just quoted himself. You're welcome.
And that's good because if she does just sit and do her own thing and she stops doxing people and shit, threatening duty Ron, nothing wrong there. I hate to say it. Okay.
So threatening duty Ron, there was nothing wrong with that when BHB did that. Pay attention because this gets more interesting as it goes.
It's dumb. It's bad YouTube stuff. It makes her look bad on YouTube. But she didn't dox duty Ron, to my knowledge.
Kind of like she didn't dox you either, Uni.
And she did threaten to send him a cease and desist. Okay, who cares?
Yes, he just said that. Yep. All the way back on April 20th, he said that who cares if she threatened to send a C&D. I mean, we all know that understanding C&Ds is extremely difficult for a lot of people, but it was okay when it was threatened to be done to duty wrong. Okay, gotcha, Uni.
That's how you're supposed to handle stuff. So
Wait a minute. That's how you're supposed to handle things? Is sending a cease and desist? But when you were sent a cease and desist, oh, goodness, we haven't even gotten there yet. It's going to be a long ride.
I'm not going to judge her for that. I'll judge her as being very sensitive and whiny.
He's not going to judge her for threatening to send a cease and desist, but he is going to judge her for being sensitive and whiny. Oh, Uni, this did not age well, did it, dude?
Or whatever. I'm not going to judge her as, oh, she needs to be turned into YouTube for things she's been doing.
Who let the dogs out? Who?
I was wrong. I was wrong in my last stream about Betty. She needs to be turned into YouTube right next to JLR. I guess she's destined to play this game where she tries to come at me and dox me.
Although absolutely shitty tactics, what she did to Uni is not considered doxing.
I'm going to message YouTube. I'm going to give them everything that's happened now. Everything.
But he's going to message a completely different platform where it didn't happen on, an attempt to get them to punish her for something that didn't happen on their platform. Okay.
So here's the thing that sucks. I'm an archivist. I have to archive.
Wait, is somebody like forcing you to do that?
The only thing that I know a lot of you are like, but you haven't been uploading a lot, Uni. It's because I love streaming with you guys. When I go to upload, I will sit there for a week if I have to, making the video. I will edit it as much as it's got to be edited. I will script as much as needs to be scripted. And
I definitely don't think Uni's the one writing the scripts.
I won't stop until it's done. And there will be, of course, I'll stop for the family and to do my life stuff. But I won't stop to do live streams or anything else. You know,
He's been working hard on a lot of documentaries.
Just be hammering out content like I used to. And I didn't live stream a lot back then. And I actually make more money when I do YouTube uploads. I do better.
This is why it's cringe when you constantly bring up money.
My channel grows faster. All these things happen because, of course, live streams are harder to watch. They're harder to grab the majority of people. They grab more to a specific audience, a podcasting type audience. Anyway.
All I hear is more excuses and useless babble.
Point is, I'm an archivist and I have to keep everything so that when I go to make a video, I've got it all right there and I've got it neatly organized. I've got it all ready to grab whatever I need. Bam, got it. And
Uni had an incredible support system that did that for him.
And what sucks is that when someone like Betty challenges me or Molly and I respond, I know it's going to piss them off just because I have that kind of, I guess, ability. Why do I always piss them off, Navy? What is it? What do you think?
That's your intention, Uni. That's what you do.
Well, they get mad because you speak the truth. And like,
just a reminder that this was back from April 20th, which things are a lot different now. Yes, there's still a lot of questions.
Narcissistic injury, bruh.
Uni's kind of a shock jock to me. He pokes for a reaction, in my opinion.
Yep, they do. I don't know, man. Maybe it's like because I'm going to get big-headed for a minute, y'all. So hate away, but
no way. You big-headed never.
Maybe it's because I've been here for a minute. Maybe they look at you.
I don't understand the whole levels or the hierarchy system on YouTube. Everybody is on the same playing field. It doesn't matter if you started yesterday, 12 years ago. Everybody's experience is totally different and theirs of their own. Yes, sometimes you've been around a long time and you see the same stuff, but it's not hard to be able to identify things pretty fast once you sit back and watch. I guess maybe to him, because he views it as a job, there's some sort of seniority in his employment or something. I don't know. It never has made sense to me. But then again, I kind of come at this in a totally different way than most. So maybe I just don't understand. But I've seen him do the stupidest shit and make excuses for stupid shit that I would think somebody that has the knowledge and wisdom from being around for all of these years would never do, like burning their channel to the ground on their own.
YouTubers that are commentary, that have a reputation as commentary YouTubers, and they maybe take it as an insult because a commentary YouTuber has labeled them something they don't want to be.
Another thing that doesn't really make sense to me is the whole commentary clip channel, blah, 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 that he uses all the time. He does it as a means to kind of discredit people too, which is what really pisses me off about it. But they do similar commentary type videos. So again, I fail to understand the uni logic even on this. Like, I'm not getting there, dude. Again, not making sense.
And maybe it scares him. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well,
I know
JLR was definitely not scared, was he, Uni?
I wouldn't be happy if I had done what they did, and then a YouTuber was coming in to lay it down. I wouldn't be happy.
I've noticed you've been a little on edge recently.
It's funny. I was staring at my old globe when you said that, and it was like, wah, 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 wah.
I need to get on that level. Uni, give us the deets.
So you honed in on the commentary energy there. It was kind of ironic, which is
Honed in on the commentary energy? What the fuck?
strange too, because JLR put in Church Street when he was trying to threaten me. And that's very prophetic, because I've been going to church for a few months. So
My God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above.
Just got to point out that Uni made this public. JLR did not.
yeah, very interesting. And then Betty, of course, her method of threatening the
Again, just pointing out that he admits that it is threatening. At this point, it was not a dox. Yeah, we know. It changes here shortly.
was very weak. It's like with nonsense. It's
That's complete nonsense, Uni, and you know that. Betty never doxed me. I have never claimed that Betty doxed me because it's not factual.
funny because I just mentioned how JLR was pulling a Betty threat when she left that voicemail. She had threatened Betty with, God damn it, when Betty left the voice. I need to go to bed. I took my medicine, man. When Betty threatened nonsense, she left a voicemail and brought up an old address from the past. And I was mentioning how JLR was kind of doing the same thing. He was trying to threaten me with an address. It didn't work. And then he was trying to, bring family into it.
Most of you all know how the phone call from BHB went, but let me give you just a brief recap in case somebody's new here and doesn't quite understand. Back in January, BHB called my personal cell phone and left me a voicemail. In the voicemail, she listed an address that nobody's lived at for like 15 years. So I came live and played the voicemail publicly. I made that information publicly. Uni has been claiming that BHB doxed me. No, she didn't. I made that information public, not BHB. Was it a shitty intimidation tactic, veiled threat, that kind of stuff? Yes, but I made it public. Therefore, she didn't dox me. I was doxed a whole month previous to that.
And then Betty messages me and does that. So here's what I did. I reported JLR's official PayPal account. And I know that he probably has other PayPal accounts, so I'm going to make sure I grab all of them.
So he messaged him off of one, but Uni's going to report all of his
And
accounts?
I'm going to make sure to file a full, professional report to PayPal now, I don't know if they know this about me, but I've actually made lots of money on PayPal over an 8-year time period.
I don't exactly understand how that would have anything to do with this.
I mean, if you add it all up over all these years, PayPal probably looks at me and says, oh shit,
Oh shit, just another dry bagger.
consistent, daily to every other day kind of moneymaker for our platform over a period of many years, like 8.
Thank you for proving my point.
And of course, I'm not bragging about now, because as you'll know, I don't really make a lot of money now.
Back to the woe is me.
But when I was on the main channel, yeah, people would send me some crazy shit, bro, when I was on the front page of YouTube.
It's the thrill that'll get you when you get your picture on the cover of the Rolling Stone.
I couldn't find the front page of YouTube, so I created it.
And so I'm not bragging. I'm just speaking truth. I'm just speaking facts here. I'll be able to get a hold of PayPal in a way that is whoever their big makers have a way to get a hold of. I've got the same thing.
You have a business account? Is that what you have, Uni?
Point number 1. And I think it'll be different than them when they go after newer, smaller YouTubers. And it'll be different than them going after random people with what they do this time.
How is it exactly going to be different, Uni?
Because I will be bringing full reports to both of their business PayPals from mine due to them doing what they did. Now, I've already
Okay, so reporting them to PayPal would be appropriate.
reported JLR full on before I even went live. And I'm going to just take care of the next report on Betty in the morning because
It's hard to say what would have been appropriate in this setting, considering we don't even know what the PayPal messages actually said.
I am getting groggy because of my medicine. Now, I did, though, refund Betty's dollar. And I am going to donate JLR's dollar to charity because I didn't
Just make a mental note of that statement right there.
refund it. I tried, but since I reported him before refunding it, I lost the ability to refund it.
Dude, it was just $1. I think it's okay.
Anyway, I'm going to have to take it and throw it in the tithe at church, right? An extra $1 from old JLR, probably the first time he ever gave to charity, you know?
This feels so yucky and like faith manipulation to me.
Oh, I did that with Betty. So I will now read my refunding for doxing, comma, harassment, comma, and for a record for police report and restraining order.
So he was going to make a police report back on April 20th about these PayPals, and he was also going to request an RO. Uni, what's the status of those claims?
So she got that message already. And I have a feeling when she does go live, I don't know when it'll be, but I don't think she's going to be able to withhold herself from having a fit based on
She didn't really have a fit. She seemed to be enjoying it. We'll get
what I've
into
seen
that
from
in a
her.
minute.
Maybe she will. But I think she's going to have a fucking fit because guess what, Betty? I know you're listening. I'm not joking.
What was it that you weren't joking about, Uni?
Not a joke. I don't know if they think I'm bullshitting about the VA telling me that I need to sue Leslie Bass. Of course, I've already explained what that means. Whatever my lawyer decides to do, whether it's to go civilly after her or to take what we have to the police to file some kind of official report in her precinct, that'll happen.
So the VA told you to sue a fellow YouTube creator over YouTube drama. Is that what I'm gathering out of this, Uni?
In about a week and a half, I will be having another appointment with my lawyer. I have to.
Well, from this recording, it was about a week when Lettergate started. But then it's been a constant excuse of why you haven't been able to contact your attorney. But in this one on April 20th, you made it sound like you had a pre-existing appointment scheduled already. I don't know. What do you guys take that as? And again, I'm trying to use my uni logic here. I know that this doesn't really make sense.
To finish with my VA appointments before I can do it. And I've already talked to two people about it, and I've let you guys know about that.
Why would you need to finish with appointments at the VA before seeing your attorney?
Probably after I see my lawyer, I won't be able to talk about it anymore. But
Well, we all know that you haven't shut up yet.
I've just been updating you that that happened and that I have been given a go every time I've pursued advice from my team at the VA.
So your team at the VA is giving you advice to sue fellow YouTubers. That's what you're trying to get us to believe. Okay.
Given a go, this is what I have to do. Yes, I need to do it. So now,
So your team at the VA is the one advising you that you need to pursue legal civil lawsuits against YouTubers. So are they also the ones that you're attempting to claim are representing you in some way?
I don't know if they get this or not, but so when I'm paying my lawyer, if I have two more people pop up and I might need a little bit of paperwork did, it doesn't cost that much more money just to throw my lawyer another couple $100 and be like, get this shit done for me too.
I mean, of course, it's easy like that. First of all, it's always been easy for him because he's got family members that are like, nobody wants to mess with them. But now he's got a whole team that advises him, and he's got an attorney on retainer because he's so famous. I mean, and for anyone confused, yes, this was about a week before Lettergate even started.
So yes, Betty, it's happening. You're not going to threaten me. I don't even give a fuck you threaten me. It's that you're threatening family members of mine, both you and JLR. And
Again, according to what Uni has claimed, it was information about family members of his that was contained in the PayPal message. Nothing about him, but he's claiming they were threatening him. Intimidation tactics, absolutely. Veiled threat, possibly. But the contents of the PayPal wasn't even directed at Uni per se. And that's just my assumption based on the limited information we know about the PayPal message.
I need that information to motivate me because I get complacent, whatever it is.
I mean, he already told us he wasn't on par.
What happens is, and again, I took my medicine, so I'm not going to be on point here. Complacent.
Once again, over-explaining himself.
He said, thank you. I do get complacent when it comes to reporting people because it's a long process. And I explained this at the beginning of the Letitia fundraiser situation. The reason why people get away with this stuff on the internet is because the person who does report these things, whether it's one or several, it's not just one single thing. It's a thing that happens over months and months and months and months.
Well, you wouldn't have reported the Letitia fundraiser or anything of that nature because you never were a donator. So that wouldn't have made sense for you to report that as is. This is why I find it so frustrating because there are actual victims.
You have to consistently be checking for them anytime they message you back, needing anything else from you, needing any more signatures from you, needing any more testimony or interview or whatever it is.
Hey, I think I figured something out. I bet reporting is part of Uni's job description.
And they will get a hold of you. And if you stop responding or if you're late responding, it drags it out. And I do believe that's why sometimes it takes a lot of time for a creator that does what these people do to be able to be banned.
As we all know, there's many factors that go into somebody being banned.
I don't like, though, that we keep getting in these situations. I told you this like 2-3 years ago, maybe. Yeah. I don't want to be in these situations anymore. I want to do live streams. I want to upload content. And I don't want to have to sit here and fucking report people to YouTube every goddamn 3 months.
Then why do you keep doing it if you don't like it?
Because I don't like dealing with it. Yeah. You know? And that's another motivator for me to kind of just be like, fuck it, let it go. I can't do that now. I can't do it with JLR and I can't do it with Betty.
It's got to be in the job description of what he has to do, right?
They have to be shown what they are. And the fact is that they use these tactics of leaving voicemails or PayPal or whatever to threaten people because of the fact the only reason
I can agree with Navy. It's an attempt to be intimidating.
They're going to this level and doing these things is because they know that the stuff that's being put out about them is true. And that scares them because they know that eventually they're going to be either, his PO is going to be fed up with his bullshit and is going to, cite him back to jail. And then Betty is either going to catch a charge or her account is going to be, deleted because she's going to get, caught threatening somebody, right? And, and they know this is going to happen.
Tonight. She just got caught tonight.
She got caught, but once again, you've never even shown what she supposedly got caught saying or doing. And again, she pulls enough bullshit on her own. You don't need to inflate what she actually does.
Yeah. Shit is saved in my PayPal. It's there. Both of their things are saved as a record in that PayPal. I have no clue why they'd be dumb enough to attach a threat to a financial donation.
Well,
there's just way too many unknowns. And all of that could have been easily solved by showing the PayPal message. You could have redacted the information and left the other. It would have been totally fine.
Well, we don't have to worry about that because I'm a veteran. They're not going to come after me or show up.
Uni, the reason why your veteran status gets brought up is because you use it as a shield constantly. You will poke and poke and poke. And then as soon as you get some criticism over your behavior, you try to hide behind the banner of vet bashing anytime somebody criticizes you, even if they don't bring up your vet status. But in reviewing your content, you're constantly bringing it up. Therefore, other people are going to talk about it because you're continuing to use it as a shield. You can say you're not till you're blue in the face, but it has been shown time and time again that is one of your first lines of defense anytime somebody goes at you with criticism completely unrelated.
Family members are all veterans and they're all veteran supporters. They're all, they're not the kind of people that people stalk.
And once again, mentioning his family members are all veterans and veteran supporters. Uni, that has nothing to do with BHB and JLR sending you $1 with a message on PayPal. Again, information that you are providing to the public and then turning around and complaining when people discuss this stuff.
Say that. And it's not any kind of threat. It's just the truth. Also, when you have family members that can handle people that act like this and give advice in order to, resources that you never use or that you would never want to use, it makes these kind of things easy. It always has been easy for me.
So let's just break this down for a minute. Uni claims that he has an attorney. He also has a team at the VA that have been giving him advice on suing fellow YouTubers. He also has family members with resources that have always made things easy for him to handle. But in the last month, we've seen that he's needed his hand held from his mods, his chat. He's needed advice with how to handle a letter that he was mailed. I just have a lot of questions because there's a lot of things with all of those support people. And to be in the situation you are currently in, they don't make sense, even using uni logic.
The point is that, again, it's not about me as much as, because this is normal, is it not? How many times have you seen this happen now, maybe? I mean,
Oh god.
just being here. I mean, this is like the 20th since it's been around. I don't fucking know.
Every 6 months. It used to be every 6 months somebody would get mad, and then
Oh,
some
yeah.
information would come out, and they try doing this stuff again with you. And most times it was on a live stream. We're like, oh, thanks for doing it live, but now either that or PayPal or whatever. And yeah, we used to see it all the time. I guarantee we clocked it. I think it was like every 6 months.
You would think if this stuff has been happening to uni every 6 months, that people would start to recognize there's a common denominator in these situations, right? Uni's problems from his past relationships on social media never seem to quite go away either. But again, that says a lot about Uni's behavior in itself.
Oh, yeah. So, but threats come the minute that I talked about Molly, right? Anonymous ones, then they can't help themselves. You remember?
Wait, did he ever show these threats that he had gotten when he was calling out Molly? Again, he keeps making these claims, but I've never seen them. He says anonymous threats. How were they threatening you? I would love to know this stuff because I don't remember the history as such.
When you have like a criticism against somebody on YouTube, you typically expect them to criticize you back. Like grab clips out of if JLR was a normal YouTuber, he would grab clips out of that 3-hour stream and he would make points to go against the things that I said about him.
Or if he's like you, he'll not listen to a single bit of the criticism and just make up malicious lies at anybody criticizing him because he can't handle the heat. So he tries running and crying and lying about said person because he can't do a normal back and forth. He's got to just go for the malicious attack. That's how Uni reacts.
But again, this is too easy. It's one reason why I don't like being in this realm where it's just, you don't win by having a back and forth with somebody.
Are you upset because he didn't engage you in a back and forth? Were you hoping for a back and forth dialogue for content, possibly?
You are dealing with people that are actually out there threatening families and doxing people. And so, we have to mind our P's and Q's in our community, and we have to be strict with how we handle things because,
In other words, I can kind of agree with him here. We should be holding ourselves to a higher standard than we are that of the people we call out. If we are calling out their poor behavior, we should not be doing the exact same things that they are doing, such as lying or overinflating or fabricating stories to try and hem people up. That's something we shouldn't be doing either.
We're dealing with people that are claiming to be dangerous, right? That's what a threat is it not?
Yes, 100%. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a threat to claim to try and affect somebody's real life by the actions that they do due to the commentary that's made.
Can I at least get some dressing with this word salad?
But those two in the spring and summertime have things chill out. And it would have been perfect if Betty's band, Molly's band, things are calming down in the community. Streams that would normally have 1,200 or 800 people now are having between 300 and 600 or less. It's just a testimony to how people are happy with the outcome of what's happened, and they're paying attention, but they're also trying to do other things and, have fun and enjoy themselves on the platform, which is something that we're good at doing. We're good at providing an enjoyable community and content to people.
I'm not going to take away from the community around him because I genuinely think there's a lot of great people that he considered part of his community. Now, I will have to say, Uni uses the people in his community over and over and over again. Uni doesn't even understand how he treats the people in his own community and how continuing to lie to them, especially in regards to the last month, is like spitting in their faces time and time again. And although I can acknowledge he has some great people in his community, I also have to question why were they okay with co-signing all of the BS for as long as many of them have? Because they've been through a lot. And Uni has said and done a lot of things to a lot of people. So I also can't discount that. And I know sometimes it's hard to see until you just see it too.
When we're dealing with, quote unquote, the type of people that involve these types of, quote, I don't know what to call it, investigations. I don't want to call it that though. YouTube actions, YouTube tracking. There you go. YouTube archiving. When
Thank you for at least not calling it an investigation.
you're dealing with those kind of situations, it takes away from the ability for us to put out our daily and, daily work on content,
I'm so confused by a lot of his statements.
So yeah, just another one of those things, I guess. They think it's all about money. So let me go ahead and, since they are fully doxing me.
How many times can one person claim to have been doxxed? Never mind, I already figured it out. He's trying to be the man who was doxxed the most, according to the Guinness Book of World Records. I bet that's what he's actually doing.
I might as well talk about my situation. See, I'm a retired veteran.
And this, again, is part of the reason people question him.
I don't have to work, but because of my injuries that I sustained in the line of duty, and I get paid for them and I get full medical treatment. So,
again, over-explaining, providing information that nobody needed to know, but because he uses it as a shield, he continues to speak on it time and time again, and then claim anybody that asks questions or brings it up is vet bashing. It doesn't quite work that way, Uni.
I wouldn't have to do YouTube, pay my bills, and exist.
I was actually refreshed to hear this.
So again, they are pulling threats that they think are going to weigh against a monetary judgment from me.
It's almost like he knowingly walked into the
right?
situation.
Oh, he's going to have to take less time doing his stream, and if he's going to have to worry about us doing this or something. I don't have to worry about anything.
Okay, so again, he was completely unbothered.
I'm retired. I'm doing YouTube because I want to. I'm doing YouTube because I like it.
Okay, so then it's a hobby, not a job, correct?
Right. I like the platform. People will never be able to make content with these people around unless they stop this.
Wait, what? That don't make sense, Uni.
It will never be fair. They will always wield this against their enemies, quote unquote enemies being people that offer better content than them.
It's crazy to me how fast he showed he was just like
anyone
them.
to get jealous against, anyone to get mad at. And it is absolutely destined for them to dox based on content. And I'll tell you why.
So now it's just destined for them to do it. They hadn't done it, but it was destined for them to do it.
The only reason they've gotten away with this is because they had more of a lockdown on their community due to very extreme cult-like behavior. Again, we have to say that because it's true.
You've shown us a lot of your manipulation tactics right out front, Uni.
So yeah, they're gonna, again, they have to be reported to YouTube.
It's crazy to me how comfortable he is acknowledging he's a
Betty
tattletale.
already knows that she's not going to make it if YouTube checks her channel. That's why she made it back up on Kick, and she's been trying to prep her audience that if she gets banned, here's where you can find her.
And guess who you can also find on Kick? Uni!
JLR will probably start doing that too really soon because, I will allow JLR to make his own decisions. I'll allow Betty to make hers.
You allowing them? Like you have some sort of
They can
authority?
try to, harass me. They can do it on sock account. I'm not dumb.
Well, that's a matter of opinion.
I don't have any other haters coming at me right now, guys. I know those sock accounts are yours. I know who they are and who they aren't by the way you talk, by the way you act on that sock account, and by what happens when I click your sock account and I look at the details. I can tell. I'm not dumb.
Uni, you think anybody that criticizes you is a fucking troll. Come on, dude. We know that you're not as skilled in all of this as you think. As soon as anybody criticizes you, they're instantly a troll. Even if the person has been in your chat time and time and time again, they magically become an account that you've never seen before, and they're a troll. Yeah, okay.
So every single time they play that game with me,
what game you playing? Pin the tail on the donkey?
It's just going to be another report. It's just going to be a harder report. It's going to be a more devoted report.
Oh, there's hard reporting and soft reporting now too?
If I have to take a break from streaming for 3 days to get it all done and completed and over, I will. And if
don't threaten us with a good time.
If I have to do it again because they do it again after I finish that, well, I'll do it again. And I'm not going to stop. It won't stop. And I'll make them another promise. It ain't going to be just me. Since I'm doing this for myself now.
So on whose behalf were you reporting previously
because of what you're doing. I'm going to do it when you do it to anyone else too. And you're welcome to do it. You think I'm trying to stop you. I'm not trying to stop you. All I'm trying to do is to make sure that YouTube peeks at your channel and that they're going to be motivated to do it sooner and sooner and sooner for every single dox and threat that you guys do. Simple.
Well, not so simple considering you claim the threat was on PayPal and you are complaining to YouTube about something that didn't even happen on their platform. Therefore, that would be a little bit more complicated, don't you think, Uni?
What is that? So if you think YouTube's going to check your channel out and everything's going to be okay, well, go ahead and come at me like the wind.
Is it like a hard wind, soft wind?
I'll still do what I have to do to protect myself and my family. I will.
That's what you should have done, and shut the fuck up.
You know? So that's my response. I know I'm a little bit disconnected, guys. I took my meds. I got out of bed to do this. They threatened me when I was in bed.
Well, thankfully, he didn't really have to get out of bed because he was already out of bed wearing a path in his floor, pacing back and forth after JLR had sent him the PayPal. So he had gotten some of that nervous energy already out before coming back live on Twitter Spaces. Yeah, he's forgetting some details here. He was going to bed a month ago, and I don't think has since.
Anyway, yeah, it's funny. I feel like a celebrity.
Wait, I thought you've always been one. You were on the front page of YouTube, right?
They think they're going to intimidate me. They're just flattering
On the cover of the YouTube fails.
me. Damn, a lot of attention's been given to little old me. I mean, how entertaining is my life, bro?
You've been begging for attention for months, Uni.
I know it blows their mind that somebody could be boring. It blows their mind that somebody could be boring.
That would be
right?
like saying BHB and JLR are exciting, and that's not the case.
I've even decided to tell the most, like, what do you say, racy parts of my life without a record, without having any issues.
Right.
This is why people pluck at those things, because he's so reactionary.
I've come out myself and said that I was addicted to pills after my injury. I had to get off of them, and I've been clean for over 10 years, you know, with that. So it's like,
I wish you well in your continued recovery, but again, it's not an excuse for your behavior current day.
shows that to tell people that when there would have been no record of it because these things are protected by HIPAA and stuff, right? And it's because it's the truth.
Again, acknowledging that you overshare and then get pissed when people mention these things.
So I know I'm not proud of myself for what I did then, but would I take it back? Honestly, no, I wouldn't, because then there would be a chance that now, while everything's great in my life, and it has been for all these years, pretty much since luckily I didn't get with Rachel until I got clean, luckily. So I didn't ruin that relationship, and my life's been so good. I would have never undone my mistakes from the past. I'm never going to feel ashamed to talk to my peeps about it, because I know that all of them have lives too.
Of course they do. That's called living in the real world, Uni.
I'm saying you're breaking the law in how you're treating these people when they commentate on you. I think it's different than a moral argument, right?
Well, and this
Again, they do terrible things. Hence the reason you didn't need to lie on them.
Oh, I know.
We have clips, and along with the PayPal she sent you to
Yeah.
the things she did nonsense, like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
breaking the law. That's called threat.
My situation with Betty had nothing to do with Uni and still doesn't. It's not even similar.
But no, I agree with you completely. What my point would be that there's nothing wrong with someone that breaks laws that don't hurt other people, as long as they're willing to. It doesn't make them a bad person either.
Wait, now they can break laws and they're not bad people even? What are you doing here?
Right? Like, here's what I think. We used to smoke weed when I was younger, okay? And now you can have a kid inside of a store with a bag of weed. You can call the cops. They can come to a 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old, and they won't even write them a ticket. They won't take the weed. They won't lock them up. We would have been in fucking jail, and it would have been a drug charge.
As y'all know, that is not factual, thankfully.
Okay? And that's what I mean. Like, we all break the law or have broken the law at some point. It's not that big of a deal. It's what
But aren't you trying to claim that that's what they're doing is breaking the
we do
law?
that hurt other people. It's like when you go after others and you harm them and you threaten them and you're it's like that's nothing more than show, how right we are to call out JLR.
That's why we are right in calling you and your shitty behavior out also.
The community, it has a dangerous man that's doing everything in his power to harass, stalk, intimidate, and threaten people. He proved that last night and then today.
Factually speaking, nothing was ever proven because Uni never showed the PayPal to begin with.
Showing that the commentary I gave on him, I don't know if he didn't pay attention to the stream, if he got too mad.
Just like you do anytime somebody criticizes
He
you.
went red and didn't really get it. The whole commentary was about how you haven't changed and how you threaten people. And then he sends me a threatening PayPal, right?
And again, we don't know the context of the message included in this PayPal because, again, I've said it 5,000 times, but I'm going to say it again. Uni has never shown any of the PayPal messages. Yes, they could be redacted, but he still has not shown them.
So it's like, Again, I'm not coming after you with the law, bro. I'm not the fucking popo.
It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that you're not law
But
enforcement.
I am a longtime YouTuber, a longtime PayPal user, a longtime Twitter user, and a longtime, Patreon user that
Allegedly has a $100 tier if you want direct access to him.
has had to report people that's done far less than what these people have done.
Again, why do you have to report these people?
And they're not there anymore. None of them.
So are you saying that everybody you've reported has been banned?
I would just want to say right fast to both JLR and BHB, do me a favor, y'all grow up and stop being a bunch of butthurt babies. Like y'all are both,
yeah.
I think around my age or older. Y'all need to put on your grown-up
They're
pants
older.
and stop being big babies.
It's crazy how fast Uni became one of the very people
Oh,
she
yeah.
was talking about.
Babyville, and
Look.
no one's coming to your party.
Uni's coming. Uni's on his way.
They did it to Dietz, right?
Yep.
Because Dietz did a polite commentary that probably took a week, if not longer,
Another big shout out to Dietz on the streets. Go check her out.
Yep.
put together. If you watch that video, and it goes through all the things these guys done from the perspective of what Dietz was looking at with the lawsuits and these other things.
You mean to say she kept it factual and didn't overinflate things?
And I don't think JLR gets it. You wanted this. I don't know if Molly doesn't get it. You wanted this. You brag about having subscribers.
And as you know, Uni is painfully oblivious to the fact that he himself obviously wanted this.
Then you must understand people are going to make videos on you. People make videos on me all the time. Go look at some of them. I encourage you to watch them. You'll find 99% of them are fucking ridiculous. No, I'm not talking about Heels' video or real criticisms.
He is still so bothered by the fact that Heels did not back down to him in any way, shape, or form. But as we all know and have seen over the last month with our own two eyes, again, Uni cannot take criticism from anybody, but it especially pisses him off when it's a female criticizing him.
I'm talking about the ones that aren't. Now, there's a difference when you go out and look at people that criticize Betty and JLR. 99% of those are actually good criticisms, and
Oh, wait, they're good criticisms because they're people you don't like.
1% of those end up being just attack hit pieces. You know?
Kind of like your attack hit piece on JLR.
You get like White Boy Radio. Some dude that was mad at Molly and he was just attacking her, remember? Some of that'll pop up.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think you two would be best of friends out
But the majority of it is criticism because anybody who's trying to commentate on people they have this, and I'll give the key here. And I usually don't because I'm
Get your notebooks out. He's going to give us the key for
really
success.
teeter-tottering here that if one of the locals hear this, they're going to know exactly what they need to do to instantly fix their issue.
So you can fix other people's issues out here on the platform, but not your own.
Coming from a YouTuber to a YouTuber, let's forget about you threatening me tonight, you two.
Notice how he's still calling it a threat at this point in time.
You want to be YouTubers, but you want to go at and threaten and dox anyone, not me. I'm not talking about me right now.
We know because they didn't dox you, Uni.
Who commentates on you. So how are you going to be a YouTuber? How?
Kind of the exact same way you've been doing it for the last 8 years,
You're going to
Uni?
get kicked off the platform. You just haven't threatened the wrong one yet. You get me?
No, abso-fucking-lutely, I do not understand you at all.
So, I mean, fuck, dude. I hate being the wrong one. I don't want to be the wrong one.
And again, you definitely were the right one.
I told them from the beginning I was. I told them, dude. I know they saw it, you know?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
He honestly thinks all of these people watch everything he says.
They're listening now.
I'm not tough either. I'm not tough.
You didn't need to tell us that. I think we've all got that figured out, Uni.
I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to battle you. But I can put what you've done directly in the hands of YouTube, and it might
I'm not going to fight you, but I'm going to tattle on you.
take a few months to go up the ladder.
So now we're playing shoots and ladders, I guess?
And then if you do a Molly move, they might get you quicker. But I'm going to tell you now, it's done. It's over.
What's over? Did they find the donkey to pin the tail on?
So lie on me, attack me, come at me as much as you want. You know, threaten my family so that, you know, you get your restraining orders.
How are those restraining orders coming along there, Uni?
And after that, it'll just be an amount of time before YouTube gets the reports. It's just how it always works. So I don't know, man.
Again, reporting stuff that's happening on PayPal to YouTube. Make that make sense.
Like, is there a way to talk about these people and try and be like, here's how you stop and here's how you fix it? Because someone has to be, like, how could you ever be so far gone on YouTube that you can't fix yourself? I get.
This definitely should have been titled Things That Didn't Age Well. Uni, do you got the key for how to not fix yourself or take accountability for anything, because you seem to have that down pat. You cannot take accountability for shit.
In real life, for God's sake. But on YouTube, you're telling me you can't stop yourself from threatening people. You can just sit and bitch about them, attack them on your show and all that. Just don't threaten them, because that's the TOS bio.
So how would a threat on PayPal be a terms of service violation on YouTube? I just cannot wrap my brain around how those two things become one.
The doxing and pulling up family members that aren't YouTubers in your threats, and then trying to insinuate and harass, that, no matter what you say, I factually have both of them now.
Now he's back to calling it a dox. You get a dox, and you get a dox, and you get a dox, and you get a dox.
And they're going to whine and cry when they're banned. They're going to. They're going to pull a Molly. They're going to try to get their supporters to run around and cry for them and lie for them.
I distinctly remember somebody else just doing that a couple weeks ago.
Well, remember, but you have to remember something. When we look at these people, right, who they are, and they let it leak the things, or we find, news reports and stuff what happened in real life. They've already been gone in real life for a long time. They came on YouTube to try to reinvent themselves. But the problem is that you can't put lipstick on a pig and expect to be anything other than a pig with lipstick on.
Uni, what shade of lipstick do you got on today? Just asking.
They get found out because there is no real life for them to go back to. There is no, nothing for them to go back to with BHB, with JLR, with Molly, and all this kind of stuff. It doesn't.
I think Uni-doxx fits in that category also.
In real life and pulled it on YouTube. It just took a little bit longer because people don't always watch all the time. We talked about this. Like, people are like, I understand why people support Molly. Well, that's because people aren't sitting down at, in front of their computers, except during like the months of LARP, and watching YouTube 24/7.
And that, again, in my opinion, is how Uni has gotten away with a lot of the same stuff.
Man, I'm gonna have to really test my metal tonight, because I want a soda. And JLR sent me $1, and I couldn't refund it because I reported him before I refunded it. I made sure to refund it. I know, bro, but I really want to go buy a Dr. Pepper with it.
Remember in the beginning of this video, he claimed that he was going to donate the $1 that JLR sent him to charity or tithe it to church. Well, now I really want a Dr. Pepper. It's going to be hard for me not to spend that $1. Uni, it's a fucking $1. Seriously, you don't have other dollars besides JLR's? Couldn't you use the one BHB sent you? Oh, wait, you claim you sent that one back. Oh, gotcha. I myself like to call that dry begging.
I'm joking. I got tea, bro. I'm good.
Remember, y'all, this is a grown-ass man. This man has a couple years on even me.
No, again, here's the truth. I would love for them to be able to occupy the bad people on the platform. And I'm talking about that viewership that wants to go around and, do all the dirty work for them. Like, if they would find a way to occupy, I've found a way to occupy my audience. I could go upload and I'd be perfectly fine.
I probably should have stuck to that route.
Every single time I've ever started uploading, it's an instantaneous thing. I'm right back into it and I'm doing great.
You've been claiming you've been working on all these documentaries. Where are they?
They can do it, right? They could. If they were smart enough, if they know how to read YouTube, read the audience, read the trends, read the analytics, they could do it.
Coming from a man who can't even read the room.
And I want them, as long as they're not going to go around threatening and doxing people, to occupy. Like Molly occupying all the people out there who are nasty and shitty and all that. Put them all on one channel. Let them send all the money in the world that they want to Molly Golightly or Betty or JLR. Let JLR and Molly and Betty have all the money in the world, right?
Are you trying for a spot on Hooves on the Ground? I'm really starting to think that's got to be what's going on here, because you seem so envious of them, and it really is cringe, and I never noticed it, but you have such a despise for them on a personal level, and it seems to evolve around money. It's almost like he feels personally insulted that they are more successful and make more money than he does.
Be a good thing. It would keep them out of our hair.
Uni dude, come on now. You know you don't have any hair.
But it just can't work because they can't handle the slightest criticism, and then they go ballistic if you really hit them, dude.
Isn't it ironic? Don't you think? A little too ironic. Yep, I really do think.
Well, and I said this before, the problem with people who are narcissists is that, for example, if I get criticized on something in the Navy, right? I mean, criticized on the way I do something. I don't take it personally because they're not attacking me as a person. They're saying that the way in which you're doing something is incorrect, right?
Do it better.
That's what I've been saying about Uni. He takes it all so personal. But again, the people in his past are very personally invested and have been for years, it seems too. There's a lot of personal feelings and personal involvement in a lot of the places that they all used to hang out, the groups, so on.
Doing better will do better. Yeah. But the narcissist takes everything as a personal attack.
Oh yeah. A narcissistic injury is the actual kind of like psychological way to describe it. If you listen to Dr. Ramani, what's the guy's name who talks about narcissists all the time? He wears glasses. Grande. Those are great.
This just kind of stood out to me a little differently on replay.
Channels. Ramani. I apologize if I pronounced her name wrong. Ramani. Dr. Ramani and Dr. Todd Grande. They'll really break down why there are people in our society that are the way they are.
No way. Say it isn't so, that there's actual professionals that break down why people are actually the way they are on the internet. I can't even fathom a thought like that.
We'll be able to see examples of these people try to play the role of a YouTuber. They're not a YouTuber because they're not interested in content and entertainment.
Next rumor from Uni-doxx will be nonsense is a narcissist. I bet $10 on that one.
So you can check them on this. Take your gut feeling if that person's a narco and click their video. Now, everybody will talk about themselves, and that's normal. You'll notice they are incapable of not relating almost everything to themselves.
Kind of like all the one-upping that you do constantly.
And they are incapable of being criticized.
Well, folks, that's his statements, not mine.
Two things here on YouTube. If you can find that in someone out there, you've got the narco, right?
Uni, did you just diagnose yourself? You know we're not supposed to be doing that.
It's going to be sad to see these two go, but I think what they're doing is trying to challenge me to also. I think that it takes about a month. It took a month for Betty. I'm sorry, it took a month for Molly. Remember, we covered the Letitia case. She wouldn't acknowledge our existence for like 3 weeks, right?
Oh yeah.
Looking back on that, it seems like you were just waiting for one of them to pick you.
I haven't really been talking about Betty regularly up until a few weeks ago. Now she's broken. She's like, I can't take it anymore.
I actually took offense to this, but not for myself on a personal level, because as you guys know, I barely cover BHB whatsoever. So it was extremely odd that she called me when she did. However, I took offense to this because there's been many creators who have busted their asses and been factual all along. They didn't inflate. They didn't misinform.
This guy. Well, and then they're also starting to feel the repercussions of the commentary.
I think you're an expert in that field right now. So I would definitely defer to you that you're probably feeling the repercussions of the commentary also. But again, lack of accountability, so you don't see it that way. However, your own actions got you into this place, and the commentary has not been what you've liked it to be.
Because our videos do get into the search, and
it's because you constantly tag other people in your stuff, like hashtagging nonsense in all of your recent videos, or using my face as your thumbnail even when I'm not solely the topic you're discussing. Those things. That's how it gets you in the algorithm. Unlike you, some of us grew organically. But I think I'll start tagging you in some of these because they're great. And I wouldn't want your fans to miss out on the truth.
They get into the search when people are looking for them, and that's what really drives them up the wall, I think. Anyway, okay.
No, I think that's just you in general.
Let's go ahead and jump, because I want to stream, by the way. I enjoy streaming massively, but I'm trying to go to bed because I'm trying to work on some videos, and I've been putting them off too much, so.
Oh, back to those documentaries again.
And tomorrow's payday, so I got to go pay bills and do a whole bunch of shit, go to the grocery, pay the phone bills, all that garbage, get the kids' allowances ready,
I think why this is so cringe to me that he continues to do this is because this is basic adulting. This is what every adult in his audience does on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. They pay their bills, they take care of their duties, and they keep it moving. But Uni uses as a part of his show on the monthly. And it would be one thing if he just said it one time. But no, you can go back and almost clock it. It is every month, if not multiple times in a month, that he says this stuff. These are adulting skills. And again, maybe that's a big thing for him to be able to accomplish. I'm not taking that away from him. But the way he portrays himself, that he's this articulate, intelligent, so successful, able to do anything and everything he puts his mind to. He does everything better than everybody else. When you give that attitude off, this should just be a normal fact of life. And it's like Uni wants a participation ribbon for even being an adult.
Yeah, closing statements. Really, really easily. They dox, they harass, they threaten.
This is another problem with Uni. Who is they? Be direct, because you do a lot of this and then throw a lot of names into the mix, and it leaves people to be confused about who you're speaking of. So who is they? In this instance, of course, I think he's speaking of JLR and BHB, but this is a very Uni type tactic.
Me or anyone else.
Oh, yep, of course, it's Uni, the chronic victim.
And we are just going to straight up, take it to report mode.
I was actually embarrassed to hear back how comfortable he is telling everybody to report, or that he's reporting, and so on and so forth. I myself am not a reporter. As many of you know, I didn't even report Molly when she was doxing me because I didn't know how. Should I have? Yes, absolutely. I handled it in real life, though. If there's things concerning my real life, I take care of that here. But I'm not a reporter on social media. I don't strike. I reported Molly when she republished one of her doxing videos with my full name in it. That was the only time I did, and it was a privacy complaint, but her channel got yeeted before they even evaluated my complaint. And I absolutely will report somebody if they are blatantly breaking terms of service and somebody else's life is at risk. That is a no-brainer. But a lot of the petty little stuff I don't deal with on social media. I deal with it in real life. Then again, that's just how I move differently. It's just crazy to me looking back at how much I got lumped into because of the people that there was an assumed relationship with that act like this. And I didn't even myself realize how extensively he had been telling people to report certain channels.
We're going to get our audience to go out and do it the right way. However YouTube tells us to do it, PayPal, Twitter, however they tell you to. Every time they do this, that's what we're doing.
Well, one of the things I can be sure of is that YouTube is not telling you to report things that happened on PayPal to Team YouTube. That's one thing I can be sure of that you're not getting as an answer.
And for anyone that wants to quote me, again, I refunded Betty. I did not refund JLR because I messed up. It's been such a long time since somebody threatened me on PayPal.
Wait, so this is like a common thing for him?
I messed up on the first one. I did it on the wrong order. So what you got to do, refund the message first.
He meant to say refund the money first.
Then you go in to your PayPal, go to the transaction, you can block them, and you can report what they've said to you, especially if it's a business account, which both of their accounts are. They're both dressed as a business account. They're both dressed as a brand account. Doesn't matter what they labeled it. They are both obviously brand accounts attached to their YouTubes. So if anyone ever does this to you, don't make the mistake I made with JLR where you end up keeping his dollar. Refund, then report like I did with Betty.
So he said all of that to basically just say that they're business accounts and that he reported those business accounts.
When I refunded Betty, you have the option to type a message. It is my suggestion that you do what I did.
I would highly suggest against doing what you needed.
Which is the reason you're refunding is all you type. And again, I typed refunding due to doxing, harassment, and threats, and to create a record for police report and restraining order.
Again, asking for a friend, how is that RO going?
Refund it, then you go in and do the blocking and the reporting. So just for anyone that's watching, anyone that's a creator, you are going to have these issues sometime in the future. Try to keep that in your mind if you ever have this happen. So there you go.
Oh, yeah. So this is just a commonplace thing for him, I guess.
We deal in reality. We don't deal in fantasy.
Uni, at this point in time, if you wrote an autobiography, it would be filed in fiction.
You'll do. I know what they'll do. They'll try to rewrite history here.
Kind of exactly like what you've been doing for the last month.
they'll try to reframe. But if you read the words I typed, that's what I was saying.
Is that kind of like you suggesting everybody goes back to the first videos that you did, hence these ones, and listen to the very things that you said, which we've been doing?
Actually, no, there's no reason either of you could give to harassing like these regular people in a fucking PayPal donation to me. They have nothing to do with anything that we've ever talked about, nothing to do with anything going on. So
And this I agree with. BHB and JLR pulled a shitty intimidation tactic. Harassing, was it doxing? Absolutely not. And that's the problem, is the lies have just complicated into more lies and more lies and more lies over the last month.
you have made the, whether you realize it or not, you did make the mistake. You did break TOS.
Maybe they broke PayPal's terms of service, but again, two separate apps, YouTube and PayPal.
It happened. That's reality. So don't think you're going to, well, I typed it this way, so he can't file the report. He can't do anything with this. Oh, really? Would you like to go back and read what you said, either of you?
I know there's a bunch of people in the audience that would love to see what they actually said, since nobody's ever shown them. We would all be very interested to see exactly what was stated in those PayPals. I think I'm speaking for me, probably everybody in my audience right at this moment.
Read it over and over and over again while you're looking in the mirror. And then you tell me whether you fucked up or not.
I bet these are some hefty moments of self-reflection, aren't they, Uni? And that, my friends, concludes the Twitter space from April 20th, 2023. So now you have seen the YouTube stream that he did on JLR after he had gotten the first PayPal. Now you've seen the Twitter space after BHB had sent her PayPal. Now, shifting gears, we are going to go back to YouTube and to April 21st, 2023. And I want you to pay attention to how quickly things have changed. He was still saying, for the majority of the Twitter space, that it was threatening and harassing PayPals. However, overnight, all of that magically changed, and it went from, I guess, what you call a soft dox to a hard dox. No, nothing additional actually took place. However, something must have burnt a wheel or a gear in that hamster cage upstairs that he's got going on, because in under 24 hours, it went from harassment, threatening, intimidation tactics to a full-on dox. That's his claim. But you don't have to take my word for it. Let's get into it. Also, a side note, he actually started on his main channel, so that's where we are going to start. But don't worry, he'll plug that enough himself.
Navy, is this thing on? Did it explode? Are we launching into space?
I just got the notification for it, and I went ahead and refreshed it, so we should be good.
Wow, damn, we haven't been over here in a minute, man.
Oh, sir.
Let me run a beautiful animated intro for the people to see. Here we go. Okay, we're here to talk about scary people. They're trying to be scary, right? We might as well give it to them. Should we give it to them?
I give them the attempt, yes, sir.
The attempt, they've tried. They have tried to scare us with their doxing threats and their familial threats, but it did not work.
So, of course, he starts off, they tried to scare him with their doxing and familial threats. Okay.
Hello, everybody. I haven't gone live here in a while, mostly because you guys responded to my live streams on Rock-A-Lot in a very big way. 8,000 subs or something, 7,000 subs over there, I don't know. And we had a bunch of memberships and gifted memberships, so I didn't really want to incite you to join Uni-Rock 2 by streaming here. So make sure that you know that. This is
I feel like he's only using this channel to try and show a bigger
where
sub
we're going to stream a show. The actual, so it'll be shorter to the point, and the live streams, the live stream podcast, the thing me and Navy do and the thing that we do over there will be on Rock-A-Lot still, and lots of extra live streams are on kick.com. Whoop, nope, that's TikTok. Kick.com/Uni-Rock.
You can find his buddies, BHB and Moose Knuckle Magoo, over there with him.
We're here, though, to do a pre-show, the first show. Now, if you want to watch me reacting to what they've said about me today, you'll have to watch that over on Rock-A-Lot. and it'll be live right after this.
This is his third stream in under 24 hours about
Now, this is probably also, as soon as I start talking, I'm still like babbling. As soon as I actually tell you what's going on, it's going to be demonetized. So I would appreciate anyone to like the video, share the video. Doesn't matter if you have a lot of followers or anything like that.
He does this stuff about demonetization all the time, too.
And I think that's about it. I think we can roll into this. So I'm here, as you saw in the title and in the description and a thumbnail. We, as you saw, we are, of course, I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say, Navy? I'm sitting here making sure we're shared, and I shouldn't have done that while I'm talking. We're going to be demonetized.
The reason why we're over here.
Yeah, we're over here because, of course, the doxing.
He claims that they're over there because of the doxing.
I said it out loud. If I use that word, I get demonetized.
Have y'all been getting demonetized for that word?
That's basically it. That's basically how this works. I figured this out. It's one of those words that YouTube has put on their demonetized list for whatever reason. I don't know why, if you're just talking about it in the kind of way we are, but I don't know if they just don't want to run ads on videos about this stuff. If that's what they don't want to do, that's fine. But either way, when you get demonetized, you get restricted. So
It's a hard dox life.
as you're about to hear, when he doxed me last night, Navy, last night. So
again, just a quick reminder. This is the third stream he's done after getting the PayPals less than 24 hours previous to this. He started off with the rage stream on YouTube about JLR after JLR sent the PayPal. Then he said he was going to bed, which he didn't. He claims he got a PayPal from BHB and he fired up a Twitter Spaces. Now, this is the next day, the 21st, still within the first 24 hours, and he's on his main channel on YouTube. And then we're not done there. He actually goes to his other channel and does another stream following this. Yeah, 4 streams under 24 hours. That's what those PayPals triggered. I think I'm getting why he's so upset of us calling this a non-dox, because, man, he tried to pimp this dox situation to begin with, and none of us really bit. In fact, most of us did quite the opposite and said, hail to the nah, nah.
of course, so I reacted to JLR Investigates, a YouTuber with 15 or 18,000 subs. Who knows? He's just a smaller YouTuber.
This is all stemming from, which you will see upcoming, Betty took a shot at him in a live stream about his subscriber count being 7 or 8K. So again, his ego obviously got bruised. He came to the main channel to prove that he has more subs. And this is the back and forth of JLR being a small YouTuber, yada, yada, yada. Somebody's ego got bruised is what this is. And that is sincerely from a smaller YouTuber. You're welcome.
Do you see that on YouTube, Navy? Do you? People doing those kind of things instead of doing the clickbaity kind of Betty and Molly thing, right?
Well, Uni, you found your sisters because you clickbait just like they do.
I'm over here on Uni-Rock too for many reasons. I know there's not going to be that many people on this stream because we haven't streamed here in a really long time, but it's important for me to say this here because those of you that have watched this channel
Listen closely to what he's about to claim.
For years, you know of a stream that I did where I debunked from start to finish, as long as it took, no matter how long it took, and it was hours, I debunked every Sandy Hook conspiracy theory.
So I guess we need to add this to the list of participation ribbons that Uni should receive, considering he's debunked Pizzagate, he's debunked QAnon, and now he claims to have debunked every Sandy Hook conspiracy. Make it make sense, people. Again, these are his statements, not mine.
Another reason why this is going to be demonetized. You say that word, it's demonetized.
Dude, is there anything you can say that's not demonetized?
Every Sandy Hook conspiracy theory that was out there. Now, I made sure to credit the parents, the uncles, the aunts, the family members, the people that lived in the area, and the people from the nation who actually did the initial debunk, put it all together into a package, and put it up online.
I will give him a pat on the back for this, because at least he admits that he was not the one responsible for the actual debunking. What he did was take previously done work and republished it. That's what he's basically saying.
But I made sure to try, and in a time when there was a lot of attention on Sandy Hook, I forget why, years ago, but...
How could you forget why there was attention on Sandy Hook? Especially since you just claimed that you debunked all the conspiracy theorists around Sandy Hook. And if that was supposed to be funny, there's nothing funny about what happened at Sandy Hook.
Talking about it, people were also lying about it again, and we went out and did a stream that did pretty well, that debunked every conspiracy from start to finish. And it really did change a lot of people's minds. It was a really effective stream. I'd bring that
Next thing you know, he's going to be responsible for making the sky blue.
up, though, not to brag. I bring it up because JLR inserted himself into that situation. And
Kind of sounds like you did the exact same thing.
I'm not going to go through it because the stream from yesterday, you can skip through that stream. I haven't chaptered it yet because we've been busy since I got doxxed last night.
This has got to be when it switched from a soft dox to a hard dox, right?
Actually, you're going to be surprised at what happened with that in just a second. But
No, I promise you, you will not be surprised because you haven't missed anything thus far. Nothing changed. He's still talking about the same exact PayPals that he was talking about in part 1 in the first hour of this video. Nothing's changed, just 12 hours. That's it. But it went from threats, harassment into a hard dox now. And yes, I'm very sarcastic if you can't tell.
because of that happening, I haven't had time to do the extra things. Getting ready for this, getting ready for everything else, paying bills, running the kids around, doing everything I do.
Adulting is hard, for sure.
You can't watch that stream and come out the other end without being angry at him, without wondering why he hasn't.
Even though, yes, Uni is talking about JLR. Looking back on this, considering what has happened over the last month, I found this to be extremely ironic also.
Done any content to apologize for what he did, to explain why he did what he did, what he was thinking, what his intent was, to try and repent in some way, not to God. I'm not talking about
Just some more faith manipulation.
talking about to the families of those children. Because even though if he was caught up by conspiracies and it led him, I don't know, in a time in his life when he was experiencing mental illness, I have no clue what his defense would be. It wouldn't even be a defense, but at least would be him trying. And with some apology, I think maybe you'd be able to call to that. He's never done that. He denies these things when people bring it up.
Kind of like somebody else I know that likes to deny and deflect.
And I don't endorse people violating his privacy or Betty's privacy, just like I don't endorse them violating my privacy and my family's privacy.
It was an incredible, shitty intimidation tactic.
Now, the evidence is overwhelming, and it hurt him. Oh, it hurt him bad. Because after he found out that I had done the video that I did, and after he watched it, it almost synced up exactly with, I end the stream, maybe 30 minutes to an hour later, somebody might have told him about the stream, and he would have had a few hours to watch the stream, and then he sends me a PayPal donation.
Oh gosh, here we go again.
And of course, we went live on Rock a lot to give you a long form explanation. I'm going to give you the short form here. Reference the stream last night if you would like.
Reference to part 1 if you want the facts.
Okay. So he was so hurt. He was so upset. He was so tearful and sad. And he is you have to feel bad for how much of a failure, just a pathetic guy that he is. I mean, he tries so hard when it comes to anything in his life, and he never can succeed. He can't succeed at the most minor thing. So, I mean, as much as I want to come over here and dunk on him on Uni-Rock too,
I think you dunked on yourself and nobody else, actually.
I can't. I have to feel pity for this man. I have to feel almost like a surprised or astonished amount of pity that I don't think I felt for many other people in my entire life.
That's how a lot of people are currently feeling about you, Uni.
So he doxes me on PayPal. He sends me $1. Now,
again, it was not a dox, intimidation tactic, absolutely shitty, 100%.
First things first, Navy. He must be broke. He must be a cheap ass. I've had people threaten me on PayPal. Never have they sent less than a 20. And I'm not joking. Because they don't want to embarrass themselves. They want to try to show off, like, hey, I'm going to give you 20. I'm going to give you $20 and I'm going to threaten you, right? I've had people do this. Never have I had less than a 15, $10. I can't think of anything less than a 20, but man, for $1, it really goes to show why he's doing what he's doing.
That dollar made quite the impact.
He's trying to dox me and attack me.
And notice he uses trying to dox me.
We all think, none of us know if there's a God or not, but if there is one, I know that JLR has to be hoping there's not one. Because if there is one, there's just, I have never seen anyone be able to do as much damage as he does in such a cowardly way.
Speaking of cowards, is that why you only argue with women?
Now, why does that matter now? He's doing the exact same thing. There's just one difference now. He has a YouTube channel with around 20,000 subscribers where he's convinced some weak-minded people through manipulation, lies, cult tactics, echo chamber, narcissistic tactics, Darvo, and other types of manipulation that he is now a reporter.
Kind of like you're a fraud buster, right?
Because of the success of Molly Golightly, and because Bullhorn Betty and JLR, two racists, two disgusting worshippers of these kind of people, defenders of this behavior, and yes, Bullhorn Betty, who also doxed me and sent me a PayPal message doxing me, and I'll talk about exactly that in 2 seconds.
Actually, we'll just look at Betty's reaction in a moment.
YouTubers talk about what I'm talking about now. As you saw, they tried to bully those YouTubers into silence, and that's exactly what they tried to do with me. Let's move into that.
And again, I will agree that it was an intimidation tactic. 100%. Doxing, still, it does not qualify, no matter how much he spins it around. Maybe if I reverse the audio, it'll make sense and become a hard dox. Maybe I should try that. Wow, I think I actually understood Uni better in reverse.
And they are, again, very bad at what they do. And I have no clue how they could, I don't know, maybe they, remember what they did to Nonsense on the web, one of our friends, someone that we respect.
Let's be honest for a moment here, Uni, because you've never been my friend. You were an acquaintance, somebody that I was introduced to after you started covering the same topic I covered. However, you've never shown respect for me unless you were using me, unless I was beneficial to you or your show in some way. The moment I started asking for respect and then demanding respect because you had been totally misinforming people on situations that I was directly impacted by, you showed everybody the amount of respect you actually had for me. Don't get it confused. And yes, this was just back on April 21st. My, how things changed so swiftly.
Where they went to Nonsense and had left the threatening voicemail after doxing her family and doxing her. And
I was doxed back in December. The voicemail wasn't until January. If you have any questions on that, drop them below and I will explain further. But I was doxed way before Betty left me a voicemail. Molly and Penelope were the ones to dox me. Betty left a voicemail, which was not doxing. And I've been very clear on that since the start.
Voicemail, of course, they tried to inlay addresses and names of people so that they could threaten Nonsense. And she just laughed and did a video as
Thanks for reminding us what happened to me.
We showed you on Rock-A-Lot.
The factual video will be found on my page.
Here is, they were trying to do the same thing with me, but they almost seemed scared.
Oh, of course. They're definitely scared of you, Uni.
They almost seemed like they were nervous to put anything else in. And they ended up just basically typing names and addresses of people that they did type names of someone that's related to me. But beyond that, God knows where they've got their information or why they did what they did.
So they included a name, but the rest of the info was wrong.
Other than they were convinced that they were right and they were trying to come at me. I have a very common name, Jason Smith, and it makes it very hard for these people to actually dox me and play these kind of games against me. And almost every time people try to do it, that's what they end up doing.
Again, it gives out his full legal name.
Now, of course, I can't show you the messages because they did name actual family members of mine that they probably just found by using social media.
Wait, I thought only one of the names was correct and the rest was wrong.
You know, they say they got all these tools and they're these like, super core and hard investigators, but anyway.
Kind of like somebody else I know that claims to have debunked everything.
They claimed a few things, and that's one of the main reasons that Navy's here. Since we've gotten through the first thing, we've gotten through the first part of this, we're going to now talk to Navy. I haven't watched the videos. I'm going to watch what they said over on Rock-A-Lot or kick.com/Unirock.
This is also part of the confusion and chaos.
We are going live on Rock-A-Lot right after this. Now, Navy has seen some of the stuff, and he's going to bring up some of it here just so that we can laugh at it and respond to it. And then after we're done talking about that, we're going to talk about how you can report people like JLR and Betty directly to YouTube. And if you can't figure out how to do it, I'll give you the names of a few YouTubers. They'll be able to help you.
So he's not going to help you, but he's going to give you names of YouTubers too. Let me guess, he's too busy to help somebody.
But Navy, you watched what they said. I think it was Betty, but do you want to give any? Just give us points, and so give us a point, we'll react to it and tell what we think. Another point, and we'll try to get through it.
So Uni admits he hasn't seen Betty's reaction.
Okay, so the first point was that when he sent you the PayPal and doxed people's names, that he was just trying to get an interview. It wasn't harassment or stalking.
Yes, and of course, you know, again, we know that he would do that because they're both dishonest. They're both liars.
And because you're a liar, let's just play Betty's words. This is Betty's stream from April 21st, right away in the morning. So this is what Uni is discussing.
So I had a little bit of comedy yesterday. So this is absolutely hilarious. So I started getting people.
Mind you, Uni says she was freaking out.
People started texting my phone. It's like, something's going off on this particular creator. I'm not going to plug his channel. It's a smaller channel that thinks.
Now, y'all know how I feel about BHB, but I have to kind of laugh looking back at this because she definitely triggered him by mentioning his smaller channel. Again, signed from a smaller YouTuber.
He's big stuff on the streets of YouTube, and it's got the secret numbers and stuff like that. And he's going to take us down, right? I hear this, and I can't stop cracking up. So people are texting me that this one creator's going off. He's having a hissy fit, like literally triggered on his live. You know, he's raging, right?
This would have been the stream that we went over in part 1 of the Uni-doxx docuseries, when Uni wore a hole in his floor from pacing back and forth.
What you call raging on YouTube, apparently. But apparently, and I don't know if this is true, you know, it could be a number of trolls or who knows, right? You never know
I don't know if this is true. It could be trolls.
where some of this stuff comes from. But apparently, this creator received a $1 PayPal from JLR saying something like, will you be willing to meet me for an interview with so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so at so-and-so address, okay? This is a PayPal. PayPal to me is like private. I don't see other people's, what they're receiving on PayPal.
She's correct. It's not like Venmo. You cannot make it public so other people can even see the message contained in the PayPal. And gosh, I cannot stand agreeing with BHB. It makes me ill.
Like, somehow this turned into, he's trying to say that he's being harassed and doxxed because he was asked for an interview. I don't recall him ever saying that he's ever been asked for an interview from JLR before, right? So I don't know how that quite, this is where stupid people come up with like their stupid laws. They think they know the laws. They use things like stalking and harassing, and what they're describing is none of that, right? But they gaslight their audience into thinking that they know what they're talking about.
Coming from the queen of gaslighting herself.
Whatever. So anyways, I'm tickled pink over this. I don't know if JLR did it. I still haven't confirmed one way or another whether that truly came from JLR.
She doesn't even know if it's from JLR or not. She just wanted to play.
But I thought it was comical. So I'm like, well, hey, let me go ahead and send him a super chat as well. And told him to send Jonathan back $1. I contributed the $1, by the way. Told him to send Jonathan back the $1 and say that he'd be willing to meet him for an interview with, 4 family members, his ex-wife, his dad, and another family member at their body shop. I'm wondering if he's going to take that as doxing as well. Even
He sure as heck did.
though nobody can see it. And only he, but I guess somehow that's doxing to tell an interview. But you should probably, send JLR the $1 that I gave you, send it back to him and tell him you'll be willing to meet him for an interview with your 4 family members at your body shop, your family body shop. This whole thing.
Again, shitty intimidation tactic, 100%.
Thing that they think, he wouldn't show his face on camera. And he's like, well, I'm in my pajamas and stuff.
In reality, that's dumb. He shows his face all the time.
Yeah, my audience has seen me. It's not, it's a guy. It's not like it's a girl that's got to do her hair, put on makeup, and, get camera ready. It's a guy. Like, throw a shirt on, show your face,
She wanted to see his face because she knew he was triggered.
Oh, he wouldn't. He was red hot, completely, utterly triggered. But I did give him his $1 to go and send to JLR. But this isn't the funniest part about it. This wasn't the funniest part about it, okay?
Uni claims to have refunded her $1 also.
The funniest part about it is now JLR crossed the line. Now he's crossed the line and he's taking him out. He's got the secret numbers. This 7,000 subscriber channel. Now, mind you, he doesn't even have access to the Chat to Creator Studio support because he hasn't rose to the level of creator support yet, right? But
don't worry, when we get back to Uni, he'll explain that.
He has the magic number. Now JLR did it. He's going to now take this this number, the secret number, the golden number to get to YouTube. And now JLR has crossed the line, and now he's wiping him off the map. He's going to go after him because he's got the secret number, and JLR is the most dangerous man on YouTube. What? That bullhorn Betty had that rap. I thought I was the most dangerous person on YouTube.
I think Betty got her feelings hurt that her title got taken.
So I'm trying to go to sleep last night, and I can't go to sleep because I am literally dying laughing in bed that this guy is so triggered by this $1 that was sent to him, right? I keep wondering, did you refund that $1 back since you didn't like it? I'm just curious. Can you refund my $1 back since you're not going to give it to JLR?
Which we know Uni claims to have refunded her.
Can you refund my $1 back? But now we're going down. He's got that secret number, and he's got direct access to YouTube to take us out. Because now, he didn't try before, but just now, JLR crossed the line. And he's going to do something about it. Now. Seriously, I'm not saying. Now he's crossed the line, right? Because they don't want to admit that they've been trying, and he's talking about how JLR does stuff, all this dirty stuff behind the scenes. Meanwhile, he's telling his audience, keep going after Team YouTube, keep going after. That's some dirty stuff behind the scenes. So it sounds to me like,
Well, he's not really doing it behind the scenes even.
This dude's getting a little taste of his own medicine. And he's kicking and screaming. He don't like it. Oh, but you can do it to somebody else. It's funny how that works. And then he goes further into saying he's going to call JLR's PO.
I hate to say it, but Uni walked right into this.
These people do absolutely no research. And every time they open their blessed mouths, you hear how ignorant and how unknowledgeable and lack of facts they have.
It's like you found your twin brother, Betty.
I don't know. Hello. I know there's haters in here. You haters in the back. I don't know what to tell you. JLR hasn't been on probation or on parole in I don't know how many years. You're going to call a PO officer that doesn't oversee Jonathan and has no jurisdiction or authorization to do SWAT. But if you were so factual and knew how to open a computer up and do the scintilla of actual fact-finding and research, you would have probably known that. So I don't think you're going to get very far with this probation officer, because once he's done with probation, they're kind of out of the picture, right? And he's so dangerous. But you know what? And this guy's like, I have a background, but I've been honest to my audience about my background. Well, you know what's kind of funny? Everybody says that until we start digging in their background and find out that there's a lot more back there than what meets the eye, right? Because it's not just about what's on your paperwork. It's how many times have law enforcement been at your house. I mean, there's a lot of things that can be done.
And she has no concern about explaining just how dirty she will get. She definitely doesn't seem triggered. She seems giddy about this.
Lots of things. Now, that's not my job. I'm not trying to, but don't sit here and cast stones at people. And when they have enough and they start toying back at you, you cry like a little baby. That looks really, really stupid.
Uni, fuck off for making me agree with BHB.
It's so funny because the whole world can see that you attack people endlessly and come up with obviously, clearly you don't even have your facts straight, especially since you're calling his probation officer that doesn't exist. But hey, I mean, go ahead, make my day.
I am curious how that call went with Uni and his probation officer. All right, back to Uni-doxx himself.
If they were honest, they would admit they were mad. They would admit that they shouldn't have put those people's names in. Now, he put addresses in too. So this is the thing. Again, you can claim that the intent that you had is whatever you want, but you did factually do something, and it is defined by YouTube TOS, the terms of service, as doxing.
And again, this is where I go, how did something that happened on PayPal break YouTube terms of service? I don't know.
And you did violate not only YouTube terms of service, but the other platforms that you guys exist on. That is a fact by doing what you did. Now,
and in this circumstance, with Uni, it would have just been on PayPal if the message was threatening, as he claims.
They could have used sock accounts. They could be denying that they did this. They've done something incredibly stupid, which Betty, unable to contain herself, admitted she did this. Admitted that she did it. Like
y'all just watched what Betty herself said.
Navy said. So what is some of the other, well, how do you feel about that comment before I move on? What do you think about them just saying, what? We put their name, we put his family members' names in there for just, a normal reason.
Well, number one, JLR is not a reporter who does interviews.
It was an intimidation tactic.
Number two, I love the fact that whenever they do something that 100% fits the bill for doxing and everything else, they always come back and say, well, no, it's not what it was. But if someone were to do it to them, they would, cry all over the place. So,
oh, yeah.
Again, this doesn't fit the bill of doxing as it was not publicly posted. We don't even know the contents of the PayPal.
Such a great point.
It's BS.
I have many examples of not only JLR, but Betty calling 1 billion times less than what they did last night to me, straight up doxing. So yeah, there we go, debunked.
Oh, so if Uni says it's true, then it's fact, and that makes it debunked. Gotcha.
Checked off. What else did she say? Because there was some funny stuff. So they claimed that. Let's see here. Anyone in the chat want to put points of what they said, throw it down. And make sure you hit the like button when you're in here, guys. I know that it sucks for me to ask you, but because we don't ever stream here, I'm going to need you to do it. Anyway, go ahead, Navy.
He couldn't even be bothered to watch it himself.
So she claims that you are mass reporting people in secret on YouTube.
Okay. Mass reporting people in secret on Twitter. So, of course,
Again, it's not a secret. He's been bragging about it.
response to that would be, I need both of them to tell us what Team YouTube is on Twitter for. What do they do on Twitter? What do they tell YouTubers like us to do? when we have someone dox us, our viewers threaten us, break TOS, they tell us to tag Team YouTube. And they need us to have people make noise under that tag in order to get the attention of either, there's two possibilities. It's either a human being or it's an algorithm. Now, because you're on Twitter and you're not on YouTube, it is a human team that runs.
And because this didn't happen on YouTube, everything that he just said is null and void. Because the PayPal was sent on PayPal within the message that he claims is threatening. Again, not a dox, but he is making this so much more complicated and circle talking it because it was not a dox, and he knows that.
Team YouTube, and therefore there is no false reporting. There is no mass reporting. The definition is when you manipulate the YouTube algorithm by coordinating with people to spam report a channel, to trick the algorithm into improperly taking down a channel. The thing that I reported Molly for, and again, I don't think I even got her banned because there were people out there that reported Molly on Twitter who actually had lots of retweets and hearts and responses. I only got like 20 when I tagged Team YouTube.
Molly got herself banned. Nobody else.
Now, another thing is, Betty, you might keep your YouTube channel a few extra days if you actually start tagging Team YouTube and letting them know when someone's doxing or whatever, when you have that proof, the information, when you can show them that it's happening. Because if you do that, you would be following YouTube's rules. I've never understood how. I get it. There are ignorant people out there. YouTubers, it's not your, as a viewer, responsibility to know this stuff. So no, you're not ignorant or wrong for not knowing what to do with Team YouTube on Twitter. But a creator who tries to lie about what Team YouTube is there for and says, they're saying, you are doing something wrong for doing exactly what YouTube, your partnership with YouTube, and Team YouTube on Twitter wants you to do. So we can handle that one.
Yeah, I'll take some blue cheese with that word salad. But how the hell is Betty going to keep her channel a little bit longer if she starts tagging Team YouTube on Twitter? That doesn't even make sense remotely. Like, there is nothing about what he just said that makes any bit of sense. Especially because none of this happened on YouTube. So tagging Team YouTube on Twitter is irrelevant.
Made a comment about the size of my channel, did she not, Navy?
So what she said is that you claim to have some magical number to YouTube that you can call, and how is that a thing when your channel's not even big enough to have a partnership with YouTube? Because you only have 7,000 subs on Rock Live.
Well, I don't know. See, this has a lot of stupidity in it because.
But the size of his channel being mentioned really triggered him.
You only need 1,000 subs and X amount of watch hours to be able to partner with YouTube. I partnered with YouTube, Betty, in 2015. I didn't have to submit for a partnership. I had uploaded gaming videos that had got so many views that they automatically gave me the partnership one day. That's what motivated me to start uploading to YouTube more, and what led me to an audience that told me what they wanted me to cover, and now we're here all these years later. How long is that? 2015 and now, what do we say? 2023, so we're going to say 8 years? 9 years? I don't know. You have to just count it up. 8 years. So the thing is,
math is hard. Really hard.
I've been on YouTube since the beginning. I've uploaded to YouTube before the channel Uni-doxx TV. I uploaded to YouTube back when YouTube was only a couple years old, before there was any monetization or anything like that. So, back to what we're talking about, I am able to message Team YouTube, and what I actually said was, I can use my partnership in my studio to message Team YouTube. Now, here's the issue. And I made sure to tag Betty. Let me actually pull this up for y'all. Actually, no, I've got it right here in Discord. I don't have to go through all that. I put this here so that y'all wouldn't have to deal with me spending an hour pulling a bunch of stuff up, even though now I think, there it is. Good. Meant to pull this up beforehand. So what I did was I went to my main channel, Uni-doxx TV, and many of you that are subscribed to this channel, Uni-doxx 2, came from this channel. But anyway, the Uni-doxx TV, my main channel, I made sure Betty knew, number one, I actually had 40,000 subs when I stopped uploading to this channel. So that's point number one.
Oh my God, the points started over again.
And point number two is, I stopped uploading to this channel 2019 or 2018 or something. Now, regularly it was 18. I think I went live on it in 2021 a couple times. But my point is, I stopped using the channel so many years ago that, of course, people unsubscribed. I don't blame them. Why would they stick around? I don't put anything up. So what I said to them was, I don't appreciate, and I made sure to tag them so they would get a notification on YouTube so that they would see this. Because I don't know why she thinks I would lie. That's the thing. I think that Betty and JLR and her friends, their friends, I think they lie so much that they just assume everybody else is lying. But anyway.
Oh, Uni, none of this aged very well, did it?
I don't appreciate Bullhorn Betty and Jonathan Lee Riches investigates doxing me.
They didn't dox you in the PayPal.
If you'll do it to a YouTuber with 30,000 plus subscribers. I really fear for the channels that are below that mark that Betty targets.
Man, they really bruised his ego with the mention of his channel numbers.
I'll be updating you on my other channels, linked below, about these YouTubers and who they have done this to. And of course, I wrote a little more, and I put links to the streams that we're doing so that they got that notification, number one. Now, number two, I know that Betty knows about Uni-doxx too. I know
Who cares if she freaking knows?
she does. She's looked into me. She's doxed me.
Again, just because you say it doesn't make it true.
Do you really believe, Navy, that with her doxing me, that she doesn't know about all of my channels? Do you think she probably even knows about my Game of Thrones channel, commentary channel?
Well, I think, and we talked about this earlier, 100%, I was talking to somebody about this, 100% what she said was just for her audience, right? Yeah, she knows about your other channel. She knows all this stuff, but she's banking on the fact that her audience doesn't. And so she can convince them that the only channel you have is Rock Lot.
I don't think she really cares. She was poking at him.
Sure. And that's why if you're from Betty's audience and you click this video, or you end up seeing any of our videos, and I mean anyone that criticizes Betty, just know that they don't care enough about you to actually be real with you. They lie to you, not just about us, the people that they dox, target, attack for doing things that they say we should be able to do. They talk about rights. They talk about the rights that they have. They know that them having those rights and wanting to exercise those rights means that others have those rights. So if you're from their channels, just know they're using you. They're using you for your donations and the clicks that you give to give monetization. And they're lying to you. That's why they're using you. But people sub to you, people membership to you. I don't lie to you. I'm telling you the truth. Go look through any of my content. And if you find anything that's not right, you're more than welcome to write us.
Uni, I got a 3-page letter for you. I mean, a list of corrections for you.
We'll be able to back up anything that we put out.
Yikes. Are you sure about that, dude?
We've seen this happen with everyone we've covered, right? Is that they purposely go out there and try to misrepresent who you are, what you say, and how you're going about doing things in order to, basically discredit anything that you say that's true about what they're doing.
Aw, poor Uni.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's another type of lie. You want to go out and literally try to send me the name of my dad. Like, I'm going to be ashamed of that? I'm proud of my dad. My dad's a really great guy. He agrees with me about you all.
So back on April 20th, his dad already knew about these people.
Everybody in the country agrees with us and what we say about you. You're looked down upon, not because of your characteristics, not because of anything like your race or whatever. You're looked down on because of how you treat other people.
Just kind of like how you've been called out for your behavior and how you treat other people constantly.
Evil out there that we don't want in our communities. You treat people, you manipulate, you exploit people at their worst, at their lowest. And you do it on purpose because that's what draws other people in. That tragedy. And because you know this, you know what I'm saying is true. I do think it drives you to attack me, but that's fine. I've been attacked by people so much better than you. I've been fully doxxed, every bit of me, back when I debunked QAnon on this very channel, live, in 2017 and 2018. So there's nothing you can do. Nothing.
Remember that. He claimed there was nothing they could do.
I'm being real with you. I told you this from the beginning. You're not going to succeed here. I'm not going to fight back and forth with you on YouTube. I'm not going to have some drama battle with you.
Well, that's good because neither one of them made videos on you.
I'm going to take your, threats and your doxings and things like that and put it right into the hands of YouTube and move on with my business, move on with my day.
Even though it happened on PayPal and a month later, and he is still spinning stories about all of this. It just got worse from this point forward.
Was there anything else, Navy? Is that all? Does the chat have any other one? They think they're going to show up around the missing Oakley baby area. I doubt they'll be able to show up anywhere after. Oh, she claimed that JLR does not have a probation officer, but there is documentation on Twitter that's pulled from a public site that shows that he has one until September, and those documents are real. They've been checked.
So you have documents that have been released online previously. So if somebody was to go grab those and repost them like you did to JLR, would you consider that doxing again, considering you just claimed that all this information has been out there on you since 2018? But didn't you just do that same thing to JLR by going and grabbing his probation documents? Again, public record, same thing that's released out there on you too, Uni. It seems like it would be pretty similar to me.
So I don't know why Betty is trying to say, I don't care. I'm not trying to tell everybody that JLR has a probation officer. All I'm telling people is that I'm going to be calling them and letting them know what he's doing and letting them know, why he does what he does. Because he didn't, both
Did you follow through with that phone call, Uni? I'm just curious.
of them didn't send that to my PayPal to ask for interviews. So here's what they did. They dox me.
They didn't dox you, but they intimidated you.
They find people that I've never brought up online ever. I'm still not going to. I'm not going to say their names. I'm not going to bring them up. I've never done it. They find people literally just because they somehow stalked down the fact that they're related to me. They don't even know if I talk to them. They don't even know if I hang out there. They don't even know if I'm near their homes at all. They then take those names and tell me that they want to. Why didn't you tell them you wanted to interview them?
Because they wanted to trigger you, and it worked.
Well, you know, if that you are lying because you would have contacted them, you would have a reason. You'd be able to state the reason that you're contacting them, and you are only what is the only reason that they talk about me or have interacted with me? They've admitted it themselves because they don't like me.
I swear, all I hear is blah 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 blah.
Because they think all these horrible things about me that they've admitted. So you have already proven that you have maliciously looked up these people, just like you do when those people came and talked to you the night before. And in the video that we did, when that man told you to leave his neighborhood.
Comparing himself to an actual victim.
I'll bet he also, I remember now, Navy. She said something about the legality. She said something about how I'm complaining about the legality or how they're doing illegal things.
Yeah, she said you don't understand the law, that what he did is not harassment or stalking, and she doesn't understand why you just won't go have an interview with him and your 4 family members.
And she wasn't triggered. She thought it was hysterical.
He didn't name 4 family members, number one. Okay. Well, wait a minute, because Betty also said she wanted an interview when she did it. She didn't mention him when she messaged me. She said she wanted an interview. So she changed her mind about having an interview with me and my family members. Why do you want an interview with my family members? It doesn't fit what your channel does. You've never done anything like that before. I am someone that criticized you on the platform. You're not going to scare me, by the way, by bringing up my family. I'm not estranged from them like you claim or like you think I am. In fact, I just saw the people that you talked about, all of them, today. And I had a long conversation with them. And I educated them on who you guys are. And they were sick to their stomachs. They were amazed that these are the kind of things that I find on YouTube.
So, mental note of this was, again, April 21st, but he says that he informed his family on these people back on April 21st, way before the Lettergate popped off. Think about that.
And they liked and they appreciated the fact that we're calling you out. So either way, I don't know what information you'd like from them, but you're not going to motivate them to tell you secrets about Uni-Rock. I'm a boring person. You know Walter, right? I know JLR knows Walter, and I know Betty knows Walter. Walter is Molly Golightly's husband. She claims, what did she say? That he's JAG? She said that he's JAG. She said that he's a ranger. Mm-hmm. She said that he is an international banker. She said that he works for the government. I mean, there's all these things that Walter has done. Walter himself, and this is real. You guys, there's a clip of this out there. We've shown this. Walter had tried to find out everything he could about me, and Molly came back and gave the report. Molly reported on Walter's findings. And what did she say? Do you remember, Navy?
That there was nothing on you and you're super boring.
I'm the most boring person ever, or something like that.
Walter's a dumbass, Uni.
And I am the most boring person ever. The worst things I've done in my life, I've already talked about on my channel. I've already given the information. If you'd like, I'll go to Rock a lot and tell you every bad thing about me that you want to know. You see, that's what also exposes you. I know it's such a weak argument, Navy, that argument that they made about why they did what they did yesterday. It doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. And I know YouTube, and I know these platforms. They're not going to agree with you. This is insane.
This is definitely the definition of insanity.
Would anyone consider what I did to be correct? Would they consider it to be illegal? I never said what you did was illegal. It probably is from a harassment standpoint. I think you're wrong. I do know certain laws. I'm not a lawyer. I've never claimed to be a lawyer. In fact, I told you that I have to consult lawyers to get any legal information. I suck at the law. That's not my strong point. You guys know this.
If they didn't know it before, they sure as hell do now.
That's why I bring Nate the lawyer here. That's why I've interviewed all the other lawyers that we've talked to. It's why I've talked about trying to get Rakita to come hang. And some of the other lawyers, the big lawyers out there, by the way, which I'm pretty sure would actually someday do that. But the point is, you are doing something illegal, Betty, and JLR.
Wheels on a bus go round and round, round and
You
round.
are. You can deny it all you want. You have violated the privacy. It's when you get angry at somebody, when you get mad, and you go in and you start digging on them. At that moment, once you start to hit private information or private things that they don't choose to put out, you are violating their privacy on purpose. You have an intention, and you know it's malicious. Now,
Oh, Uni, you give me such a headache.
don't have to use myself as the example in how you're breaking the law. I could use the family members that you've targeted. I could use mine, or I could use the family members that you're targeting of these victims. It is illegal. It is
Uni, you walked up and knocked on that door.
wrong. That's why people have sued people that stalk them, like you and JLR. Do you see what you guys are? Is called stalkers. You're called cyber stalkers, but because you brag so much, I can't even believe it. You brag so much, you make it your key tenet of who you are that you take it real life. and you brag about it all the time,
And they do horrible things to real people on the daily. There was no need to lie on any of it.
you're not just admitting to being a cyber stalker, you're admitting to be a regular stalker. Now, I can trump everything Betty said about legality with one point. You knew that JLR has gone to prison for violating someone's privacy, by taking their private data, by trying to get bank accounts, credit cards, steal money in their name on the internet. And he did it so much, so prolifically, that the man went to prison for like over 10 years or something like that.
Stating it as a fact, but then saying, or something like that.
So you know that by you digging with him, you are harassing. It's just absolute. It's just an argument that not only can be made, but could easily be won. Though neither of you have any money. Proven by the fact that when you messaged me on PayPal, you used $1 donation to do it.
He is so triggered about the dollar amount of the PayPals that they use to intimidate him with. He has gone on and on about that dollar, how it should have been $100, how it could have been at least $15 or $20. He's very triggered by that. But Uni, their message was received. You took all of the bait for a measly dollar.
So there's no use in civilly going at you, but there is use in filing police reports. There
What's the status of the police reports in the RO, Uni?
is a use in me seeing my lawyer, and there is a use in me talking to JLR's probation officer. Now, he can lie about it all he wants, all right? If it really was a lie, he would pull that paperwork, the public paperwork, and he would be able to discuss it.
Remember, on April 21st, he was going to see his attorney.
But he won't, because he knows it's not a lie. And it's your burden of proof. The burden is on you.
So you made the accusations of the PayPals and the threats within the PayPals, but you haven't shown any proof of that, have you, Uni? You claim that there's personal information in there, and magically you seem to have forgotten how to redact. But yet, if it was the other way around, he'd be demanding we showed it.
The fact is, Betty and JLR don't understand the law. They don't understand what's right and wrong, and they don't care what's right and wrong. They don't care if they violate your privacy or innocent people that are around you. They try to use to pressure you, and they've proven this again. But this time they did it so that I had direct evidence.
Oh, so Uni has direct evidence.
They basically said, Uni, we know that you want to do videos on us. We know that you're a commentary YouTuber. We know that you've done a lot of videos that have a huge amount of views. You've done a lot of views on this platform for doing commentary videos on Uni-Rock TV, and some of them on Uni-Rock too.
None of this was said or implied.
And you want to do videos on what we're doing. Now, I know that, they have to be asking themselves, I wonder if Uni has enough evidence to prove that we're doxing people and to prove that we'll violate people's families' privacy in order to threaten them. And now I have that ultimate proof. You've told me that, yes, you need to have everything you guys are doing documented.
Anybody else got a headache at this point? Because I sure do.
You need to be documented, not just because you are cringe lords, because you are hilarious. You are so scared, so desperate, so incompetent, so pathetic. All of the things that make it worthwhile to laugh at the way that you display yourself publicly.
I mean, I didn't see them making 4 videos in 24 hours.
Though you are locals, you're also locals that are incapable of accurately breaking the law to harass people without putting your crimes on full display.
Just kind of like you were unable to not show your ass on this one, were ya?
And that adds to the hilarity. Is there anything else they said? Are we good to move over to the Rock a Lot After Show, Navy? Anything else we need to talk about real quick before we go?
Oh, please, let this almost be over.
Yeah. Now, JLR said something about wanting an interview, so I'm going to let him know how he gets an interview with me. Just like, gosh, I can't remember his name. I can't remember what he looks like. I can't remember literally a single detail about this person. I can't even remember the YouTube name. Nothing at all. Nothing. God, it's like irrelevance multiplied by irrelevance multiplied by irrelevance. But this one guy came into my chat. I don't even remember when it was he's so irrelevant. And I think it just happened. And he wanted to debate me. And I let him know. The way that you get a hold of me, to talk to me, the way that you reach out to me is to message the moderators or to go to the live chat, and the moderators will link up with you. They'll get your information or whatever it is, like how I can, call you through like a Google call, like a Google Hangout thing. What do they call it now? A Meet or StreamYards or whatever. How we can actually link up through Discord or something.
Oh, how did I forget? He's too busy to set up his own debates with people. And he was referring to BXBeastBoy, who showed up in his comment section wanting to debate him.
But Navy, you'll back me up here. Now, one of the reasons, hold on, I think I got a dono. One of the reasons why, thank you. Hey, I appreciate you very much. You're too kind. I didn't even share it. I didn't even ask. Oh, I love you too. I really do. And I appreciate you very much.
Ugh, that's so cringe. And a big piece of me thinks that was so fake. It's not even funny.
I'll say this in a minute. But Navy, the reason why Navy or Cherie or Froggy or whoever will let you know how to connect with me on Discord or StreamYards or something is because I get so many messages, I get tagged so often, and I'll forget, or I'll be too busy, or I'll have to run off of the computer and go take the kids somewhere or pick them up or something. I don't want to miss people that want to reach out. Like, I don't know why JLR and Betty used the interview thing as their reason to dox, because again,
I don't know about y'all, but I hate the word dox at this point.
You know how to get a hold of me. Both of them do. They watched a video. They've seen videos of mine where people actually do that. So again, you just need to go to Twitter and hit up Mod. We'll grab one of the email addresses that we have in our chat on Rockalot and email them or whatever. But, you know, Navy, you haven't had any issues with linking up with anybody. I mean, it doesn't take a lot of time. It's pretty fast, all that shit, right?
And I will say Navy was always great to correspond with.
No, and I'll do the same thing every time they send me. So I'll say, okay, I thank you, and then I'm going to pass this along to Uni. And that's exactly what I do.
Yeah, and it's very professional, very easy, you know?
I wonder who's manning his inbox now.
It boggles the mind.
You need me to help set up chats and all kinds of stuff before to make sure times work out and everything between the two of you. So yeah, no, 100%.
Sure, and then when you don't have time to do it, we've got other mods that'll jump up and help out, and it's just an optional thing that takes minutes because both sides are always very professional. They're very nice.
I understand that the mods willingly do this and must enjoy it. That's why they did it. However, it's crazy to me knowing that Navy works full-time, has a busy life, but yet he was expected to schedule meetings for Uni when Uni does nothing but stream from his house. I'm so confused on all of that, but again, just my own personal opinions there. I mean, I guess I did forget that Uni is a celebrity in his own mind.
In fact, most people, even the people that I talk about that don't like me or that they're mad because of me covering them, when they have reached out, we haven't fought. We've actually been able to talk. When Molly reached out to me, a woman who had doxed me, who'd come after me, who had been attacking me.
Molly reached out to you, Uni? When did that happen?
I went and talked to her and had a normal conversation. I was lied to a lot, but I still did. So
Uni has secret conversations with Molly? Maybe I just missed this along the way, but I didn't know he had been in communication with Molly. That's funny.
I mean, it's just none of this is true. That's the thing. We're dealing with narcissists that are either faking that they're in a bubble, right? And only people that followed JLR and Betty for years would know if this is the real them. And they truly believe the garbage they say, that Uni only has 7,000 subs. He doesn't know how to message YouTube. He doesn't know how to adequately and respectfully and use YouTube's rules to tag YouTube or to message YouTube. All this crazy stuff, you know, wanting to talk to his family. My family will not talk to you. They are civilians. Y'all think that you have some right to go to civilians in this world, people that live in the United States or other countries. And
human beings. Let's just go with that. Human beings.
You think that there is something that entitles you, Betty, or entitles you, JLR, to talk to those people. You don't call and ask to talk to them. You don't treat them respectfully and have a conversation, a civil, respectful conversation. And the thing is, people out there aren't stupid. They know when they're talking to a con artist. They know when they're talking to a liar. And people that follow my channels...
Yeah, the people that follow your channel should be able to point out that you are nothing but a liar.
Because we cover the thing we've always covered the most is busting scams, busting fundraising. In fact, Crowdsourced Criminals is almost as old as Uni-Rock 2. Actually, it's older now that I think about it. It came from Uni-Rock TV. My playlist, Crowdsourced Criminals, where we would go to Indiegogo, Kickstarter, all these, you know, GoFundMe and everything, and we would go through all of because they used to be just massively bigger than what I've seen them lately. And we would go through, and if we found a good Kickstarter or a good GoFundMe that was done respectfully and normally, we would advertise it. If we found one that was not, we would call it out, right? We would criticize it. But the point I'm making here is that...
Are you sure you actually ever knew what the point was?
Whether you think that there's something that entitles you to be able to just talk to whoever you want to talk to, those people get to choose.
I would hope so. That's weird.
I get to choose who I talk to. You get to choose who you talk to. And if someone doesn't want to talk to you, you ain't going to talk to them. If you also, the fact that they don't know, and we experienced this, and I brought up whoever, I don't even know, I can't even remember, this weird guy, I think he's a YouTuber, but I mean, he has a hard time getting like 50 views or something. He was in the chat, and he was running his mouth, and he was being a complete asshole, and he was wondering why he was having a hard time with, you know, getting the information on how to reach out to us. I don't even think he ended up reaching out, but the point is...
Again, referring to BX Beast Boy, but even if BX would have reached out, I'm sure Uni would have declined having a debate with him.
You know, I put up a wall. I have a barrier right here. Now, abusive people, liars, dishonest people, those people aren't getting through that barrier.
So are you telling us that you're trapped behind your own wall because You are those things? Is that what you're trying to say here? Oh, you mean you draw the line at when somebody criticizes you, then you go on the defense and attack and just maliciously make up lies about the person. Gotcha.
Right? Now, I am a nice person. So if I can't tell if they're being dishonest or not, I'll give them a chance. It's not like I just, maybe you're dishonest, I'm not going to talk to you. I always give somebody a chance. The minute you show me you're dishonest or the minute you start being disrespectful, probably not going to talk to you. Now, being a meme lord or insulting me isn't disrespectful depending on how you do it.
And yes, I started off very respectful to Uni. However, that did change because Uni has done nothing but disrespect and lie on me time and time again.
So a lot of times I'll talk to people that do insult me, just so you know. I don't want people thinking I'm thin-skinned or something. I've confronted
Well, folks, do you think he's thin-skinned?
many people that don't like me, that criticize me, or that even call me names. Just like that guy I was talking about a minute ago, because he was sitting there calling me all kind of names in the chat, and I was just telling him, here's how you get a hold of me. And I think he was saying, it's hard for me to remember because he's so irrelevant, I can barely even remember what he said, but he was saying something like he wanted me to do a stream with him right then, right? And I know that's how you are, Betty and JLR. You think that we owe you something, or that
Kind of like you've been demanding I answer you.
you're just the gods of the world and people will fall in front of you. But I got a newsflash. Nobody owes you shit. And everybody laughs at you. And you are locals. So welcome to the internet. Welcome to the real internet. You've been inside your bubble. Well, I burst it for you. And now you can become what you were meant to be. We gave you years to stop. We gave you years to walk it back. And you'll forever be known as a local.
Welcome to the pasture, Uni. Moo moo buckaroo.
Isn't it ironic, don't you think? A little too ironic. Yeah, I really do think.
Just so you know, you're always going to be known as that going forward. Anything else, Navy? Because we've got an after show to get to. And Betty's turning into the same thing. I don't think they get it. It's not an insult. We're describing your behavior. If Betty all of a sudden fell out of this thing she does, we wouldn't be able to classify her. We wouldn't be able to keep updated on her in any successful way. So,
Kind of like you, if you would have taken the advice you were given by the closest people to you, you probably wouldn't end up in a pasture either, would you have? Moo.
now I know I'm not supposed to shout out any clip channels after like the big debacle a few weeks ago. I've been told by my bosses that, don't do it because, there's some people start drama, others won't. But I have to shout out one channel. I'm going to be nice. I'm a nice person.
I think your sodium level's high because you're awfully salty.
Her Ambiguous Darkness has a channel. Go check it out when you get time. We're going to head over to Rock-A-Lot, though, so that we can do an actual stream. I feel like I have to do a show here, and I do. It's a rule.
Is it part of the YouTube book for dummies?
You've got to hold on to what sanity you got left. It doesn't make a difference if we make it or not. We've got each other, and that's the lot.
That's a lot more than some got these days because it seems like a lot of people have lost any sanity they once might have had. Anyways, let's get to the fourth and final live stream that he did within the first 24 hours after receiving this $1 PayPal. I hope you're all hanging in there. You only got about 25 more minutes to go, and then we are on to part 3, which will not be as tiresome, I hope.
We are hot, rolling in hot from main channel, Uni-Rock 2 on YouTube, where we just finished an emergency broadcast.
As you just witnessed, there was no emergency at all.
Notice? And we're coming over here because we're going to go more in depth in the doxing of me and my family by JLR, Jonathan Lee Riches, the coward, and Bullhorn Betty the crybaby.
And Uni-doxx, the whiner of all whiners.
Oh my god, I didn't dox you. You're so dishonest. And it's so cringy. Navy, why do they overdose us on the cringe? We're supposed to only handle a little bit of this stuff, bro.
Speaking of cringe, there's no shortage of that.
Well, I don't know, man. It's
Thank
crazy
you.
because when Betty was talking about this prior to this event happening, she was talking about going after people, and we're like, we'll go after you and your wife and kids and your grandparents. It was fucking random cringe. Like, who the fuck says I'm going to go after your grandparents? And then I don't know, it's just weird.
Maybe they think they were going after my wife, but I don't have a wife.
As we know, he claimed they were going after his ex-wife.
Oh, God, they're so bad at this. We're going to open this, though. This stream, we are going to open in a highly professional fashion. You see, Betty didn't know that I actually am a big YouTuber.
With an ego bigger than that.
I'm just kidding. I only had 40,000 subs back on my main channel when I quit posting there. But my channel, the entire concept of it was ruined by the early algorithm on YouTube.
It could never be Uni's own behavior.
Now, if I wanted to go back to Uni-Rock TV, I probably could. And the thing is, what people like Betty and JLR don't think about is that I don't make decisions about how I'm going to do things on this channel based on what I want or something, right? Like, I'm looking at what will work from a content perspective.
How has this been working out for you there, Uni?
What are you going to be interested in? And at the same time, what fits what I want to do? So that's secondary. What I want to do is secondary, because if I sit here with 2 viewers, I'm not going to have any, like, no one's going to watch. I mean, look, Betty wants viewers. JLR wants viewers. They're desperate for them. They will lie for them. They will ruin their name. They will embarrass themselves.
This part feels a lot like self-reflection.
They'll tell lies from one night to the next morning. Like,
ironically, that's exactly what you have just witnessed.
Giant lies. They'll sit and say, remember the big video that I kept playing because I was so shocked by Betty going, ruin their lives. What was the quote, Navy? She screamed out that cringy ass, make their lives hell.
Yeah.
We all know she's a pretty terrible human being.
Because they're making my life hell. Yep.
Make their lives hell. I can't do it. Make their lives hell. Anyway, she screamed this cringy thing out because she's so mad. Betty, I've been criticizing you. I have been joking with you.
So is this one of your jokes, Uni?
I have been calling out when you are being terrible to other people, which means you deserve way worse of a ribbing. You deserve way worse of commentary treatment, I don't know, than I'm giving you.
Just like you deserve the same as what you've been saying about me. But I'm sticking to the facts. I'm not going to just maliciously make up lies about you. We'll stick to your own statements.
Somehow they're going to convince people they're the good guys. Now, then they get mad at me. And they're so angry, I don't think they really even listen to my show.
I wish you would go back and listen to your own show and the words that have came out of your mouth and the problems with that.
Because that's the trap of what I do.
Oh, now you set a trap for JLR.
I've described it. I didn't hide it. Nobody can say I'm playing tricks on these people. Nobody can say I'm being dishonest or anything. I'm right out in front of them telling them I'm going to, through what content that I do, it'll be honest content. It's going to be...
I distinctly recall you crying and whining for the last few weeks because I baited you by using one of your own lies that you had told, and you walked right into it. You've been whining about that for weeks, but yet you claim to set traps for people. Oh, come on, Uni. The only person you trapped is yourself.
Jokes, and I'm going to be poking at you in a very funny kind of comedic way.
Oh, so this has been stand-up comedy for the last month. I get it. Except I haven't laughed once. Well, that's not true. I've laughed at you, not with you.
And you are going to be so upset by the hypocrisy that my jokes exercise upon you. Like someone trying to bring a demon out of somebody, right? I'm exercising these comedic little memes and jokes on you, and my audience is laughing at it and sharing them and loving them and all this. And they end up making the best memes out of everything.
I started thinking an exorcism might be necessary, but then...
And because of those memes, it embarrasses them. They want to be in on the joke. They hate the fact that they are the joke.
This might be the truest statement you've ever spoken, Uni, but it's all about you.
And then they get angry. And when they're very angry, they lash out. I'm going to come after your parents and your grandparents and your family. They don't even know that I don't have grandparents anymore.
Pay attention to the details that he provides in this. Again, he over-explains, he gives more information than even necessary, but it's interesting considering the statements as of recently.
They don't even know that. And I do have a single grandparent left. Actually, that's not quite true, even though it is.
It's not quite true, even though it is. Okay.
I have one left, but he's not in great health. And what I was saying was I don't have like that. They're acting like I have that family unit still there. But unfortunately, that family unit has lived their life. They've made it through their entire family unit life. And now they're just a person. They're not that family unit anymore.
All of this was completely unnecessary information.
It's been passed down. It's the process of life, the process of family has happened. So I don't have, like, maybe, I don't even know, how long would it have been? 5 years ago? No, because we were dealing with some cancer and we were dealing with some illness, and that was getting in the way. That was when it started 5 years ago. So
nobody was even mentioning things about this.
Let's roll back 7, 8, 9 years. Sure, you could say you're going to attack my grandparents. I don't have grandparents for you to attack.
And that's all you would have had to say. That's it.
My one grandparent that's left is not in great health, and I see him all the time. I love him, but he's just his singular self. He's not the grandparent of the family like they're trying to claim. We're going to come after your grandparents. So you failed there, right?
Again, we have no idea what was even stated in the PayPal.
Also, in the same respect, the same things happened with my parents. And while they're there and while they have, they are themselves, they are parents, they're not hosting that family home thing anymore. That's been passed down to us.
You should have just stuck to, I don't live in my mom's basement, dude.
We are the ones doing it. So you're basically saying, I'm going to go after this family group that's already been through the process of time and generations. You'd have to come after me.
And again, I don't agree with how they've gone about it, but you were their target, and it worked.
Like, you're looking at the family group. You're looking at me and my brother and other siblings. You know what I'm saying? That's who you would have to go after. And I'm just here to tell you, you don't want to do that.
And this right here, oh my goodness.
You may want to come after me, sure, but you can't. You've tried. You can't find anything to come at me for. You can't win. So now you're trying to go to family. But the problem is, if you went at my family, you would have to go at a certain person, and that person, they'll just push a button. They'll just push this little button on their desk, and you'll just, you won't want to ever come at us anymore. You'll just shut up. You'll just not do it anymore.
Wait, who's got the panic button, and why haven't you pushed it yet? Because you've been panicking for months. And if somebody has access to a panic button that could have fixed all this for you, you should have tapped it a long time ago.
So anyway, I don't know why you're trying to play this game with me. It's kind of stupid. It's dumb. But, you're not dealing with criminals. I'm not a criminal.
Okay, you've told us that like 100 times now.
Now, back when I was younger, was I? I'm sure there are times in my life where you could have called me a criminal, and I've talked about every single time in my life where I fit that description already. I've actually told stories about this and listened to your stories about when you were younger and you did dumb things. And it's really weird, Navy, to see these. We're live on Rock a Lot, right? Like, it worked. It sent us right over here and everything, and we're just good, right? Wow, that's awesome. That is so cool. We're going to have to do this more often, dude.
No, please. Please don't.
I don't feel any intimidation. I don't feel any fear. This is part of your story, Betty. You and JLR get to choose what you do.
I think they had already made a few of those decisions there, Uni.
You get to pick. It's on you. We are giving you the freedom. We, unlike you, will not intimidate you.
Well, thankfully for them, I don't think you possess that characteristic of being intimidating.
We're not going to come for you or your family or anything like that. If you come at us, we will protect ourselves through reporting what you did where necessary.
But didn't you threaten to go real life and call JLR's probation officer after he sent you $1 PayPal? Again, intimidation tactics, 100%. But you claimed that you were going to file an RO and a police report. What's the status of those, Uni?
We will not come at you. So that gives you the choice. Do you want to keep playing this game? The more you play it, the more interesting you're making our story. The more interesting you're making my videos on you. You're adding to it. You're giving us content. I don't know how else to describe this. I've described this to these people several times. It's almost like, do you think they just don't believe me, Navy? Or do you think that they think they know more than me or something? Or
D, all of the above.
what do you think's going on here? Like, why aren't they taking the advice?
I can't say as though I would take any advice that I've heard you give thus far.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Well, because the thing is that they, number one, they get off on the shit that they do, right?
I have to agree with Navy on this 100%. They absolutely get excitement out of doing things like this to people. And Uni, unfortunately, made it extremely easy for them.
Like going after people and yelling at people and then threatening people, they get off on it, right? And they also get mad because they don't like you telling them what to do, which you're not telling them what to do. You're just saying, hey, if you do this, it'll probably be better, right? But they don't like any criticism whatsoever.
I know somebody else that can't take criticism at all from anybody, including the very closest people to him.
If they took my advice, they'd be happy. Yeah. They'd be happy by now.
I think Uni would be perfect for that opening in Heels on the Ground. I really do. I think you guys should take him on.
These two are some of the most thin-skinned individuals I've ever met in my entire life.
Yikes is all I gotta say on that. And that is solely addressed to Uni.
I'm going outside YouTube, bro. I'm talking military. I'm talking at jobs I've done. I'm talking in high school. I'm talking like they are the most thin. They have, that's their claim to any kind of notoriety. It has nothing to do with reporting, has nothing to do with talking about true crime or exploiting tragedies. Yeah, you're gaining a little notoriety from that, from exploiting tragedies, for being somebody that inhales the souls of the ghosts. You're like a monster that just drags yourself like you're a slug, and you drag yourself through the graveyard, and you're just sucking the air in, hoping that a little piece of someone's soul will come in you. And
I wonder if that's a scene out of a video game or something.
It's a perfect metaphor to what you do. I made this metaphor to Molly very early on in the Letitia fraud raiser, and it really applies to JLR and Betty, but they aren't. When I said that Molly was going through the graveyard, Molly was herself. That's the one thing. Like, Molly will get up there and say, yeah, I doxed you, Uni-Rock. What are you going to do about it?
I swear he's got a crush on Molly or something.
You uni-ball freak. You know what I'm saying? And as much as I don't like Molly for doing that, I at least give her the slightest bit of respect that she was honest.
You respect a female? Now that's a shocker.
You got these two. They go and dox. They go and dox not only me.
It's a hard dox life for him.
But they also doxed, and that's where we're going to put our attention, and just so you know, they doxed those 3 men that we showed you, that
actual victims of their bad behavior.
Any of you remember what word he used? It wasn't bullying. He said that they were terrorizing him or something. And like,
that's the really sad thing about all of this, is he didn't need to provoke JLR. He didn't need to try to one up anybody. JLR has enough bad behavior on his own that you don't have to lie on him. You can just point out the facts. That's problematic in itself. But Uni couldn't do that.
My thing, dude. We have it recorded. We know what these men did. You can cry. You can stand there and, oh my God, they're terrifying me. These men don't want me in their neighborhood. Oh, my rights, my rights. Help, mommy Milky, mommy, mama. Where's Betty for my mommy Milky? And
there's that elevated cringe factor again.
You're sitting there, you're crying, and you want us to believe that these horrible men have intimidated you, but you recorded them being very polite, direct, respectful. There was a military man, a veteran there. He was not going to assault you. If anyone assaulted you, I'm sure he would have did one little hand move, and the dude that was assaulting you would have fell on the ground, because that's what us veterans can do.
And this is why the stuff gets brought up about his military service, because he says things such as that. We all know that not everybody is trained in hand-to-hand combat like that. But he makes claims like this, and other military men have problems with it and question him on a lot of stuff.
We were trained. So it's like, well, you had nothing to be scared of. And
it's the constant boasting for me.
You think you're telling your audience, oh my God, these men are being mean to me or something, right? But your audience can't be that dumb, dude. Your audience saw you shaking your stanky leg, trembling, pee in your pants. I bet you he has to wear diapers, bro.
I promised you there was no lack of cringe in this section. And I clipped the majority of this section out because it was so terrible.
I bet you he does. I would put money on it.
You've got the pins.
The pins, yes. Nothing wrong with the diapers. I'm just saying. I wear them all the time. He's wearing...
I mean, I'm not one to kink shame, but...
Sorry, I almost got sick. You know, I'm trying to help you, bro. It's a bad idea whenever you poo your pants to take your panties off and show them to the internet. It's a really bad idea.
There was a big section in there that I did remove. If you want to see that part of the video, you're going to have to go watch it on his original stream.
And look, I don't want to put the guy down. I don't know why any human being on the planet would put this kind of content up and make it the focal point of what he does.
I think you should watch your own content once again.
That's why, you know, when he doxes somebody, I'm starting to figure this out. See, they dox you. They send you their old videos. They're like, oh, look at what I do. Oh, I'm scary. And
did JLR reach out to him previously and send him videos of his own?
They want to make you think that they're going to attack your family. Now,
again, it was absolutely unnecessary and uncalled for, an intimidation tactic that they're known for. They're not good human beings. Again, the reason why you didn't have to lie about this situation at all.
I don't know how that's not a threat. Did you say that Betty said something about, I'm going to attack your family. I'm going to attack your grandparents. Did she say that? Is that what she said?
Yeah.
That was not verbatim what she said.
Wash the booty. Yeah, well, hold on a minute. Doesn't Molly drink large amounts of laxative tea?
Yes.
In Hershey? Dun, dun, dun. Oh my God. You know what this means, Navy? It's a conspiracy.
It is official. Uni-doxx has lost it.
Jonathan and Molly and Betty are trying to tell us by taking these laxatives, living in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and by showing us their doo-doo panties, they're trying to give us a secret message of conspiracy. Long ago lived a woman in the famous town of Hershey. Her best friend was known as the Doo-Doo Betty. Doo-Doo Betty. They loved going from town to town, taking laxatives and eating an entire box together like candy. But they never wanted anyone to know. They would go to YouTube and put secret messaging about laxative tea. And they would put secret messaging about boxes of laxatives being eaten. And then they wanted so desperately for a YouTuber, a good mystery YouTuber, a good crime YouTuber to solve the mystery that they had been laying down for years for the YouTube community. The mystery of Doo-Doo Tragedy Pamps. The mystery of the Doo-Doo Tragedy Pamps.
I don't know how he even got there, let alone how his brain works like that. I'm actually kind of afraid to even ask. And why does he include Dolly instead of BHB?
They went from city to city, pooing in McDonald's, pooing in hotels, pooing in nice restaurants, even some 5-star hotel and restaurants. They would meet celebrities. They would gain the nickname of Dumpy Dump due to the fact that they pooed their pants while trying to hug Tom Cruise somewhere in California. All of these things started to be found by the world-famous mystery-solving YouTuber Uni.
And yes, for some reason, that was the end of his stream. I am left speechless after all of that. How are y'all feeling after this one? And here's a preview coming up of what's in store in part 3. This will pick up on April 23rd.
Let's get you caught up on exactly what happened. Let's go over here to the newsroom, to the really bad looking newsroom. If it didn't look so cheesy, it wouldn't be passable. It's the only reason it's passable. Breaking news. No, actually, turn it off. It's not breaking news because we've known that these YouTubers do this for a while.
It's not like it's a secret what these people are up to.
I'm having a hard time processing this. I got Navy with me. I'm having a hard time processing the fact that these two YouTubers believe that they should be able to stalk people's families because they don't like what we are saying about them.
That's part of what makes them shit humans.
And that's their side. If you've heard what Betty had to say, that's their side, Navy.
Betty has entitlement issues. That's not shocking either.
They want to be able to go after your family if they don't like what you say about them. Now, here's the deal. When they go after your family, they're going to pretend like, oh, no, we had normal reasons to do this.
I think it was pretty clear to everybody else that they were playing games, Uni. And it seems like you volunteered to be the donkey that they were pinning the tail on.
So very quickly, before Navy comes in, the doxing, Betty, was when you and a felon ID thief, a man that has stolen IDs in the past.
Listen closely to what he actually says here.
And gone to prison for very long periods of time for doing these things. You sit down with him and give him and look and stalk through people's IDs. Now, if you wanted to make an argument that I'm a public figure and you can somehow, it's okay for you to look at look up things about me, that could be an argument that you can't make because you stalked my family.
Okay, so you can make the argument that Uni is a public figure. However, they cross the line because his family is not, which I do agree with. His family are not public figures. That was intimidation tactics and shitty all the way around. But that's what's to be expected by that crew, unfortunately. That's why they get called out.
Every one of those people are not public figures. They've never been public figures. Some of them are just the complete and total, utter opposite of public figures.
But what about the one with the magic button? I need to know more about that magic button. I need one of those.
So, you know what you did. You did it because the doxing was when you and JLR, when you got mad while you were watching my videos where I completely exposed you to.
He annihilated you, bro.
For being the kind of just disgusting, degenerate people that you are, and the way that you treat people in tragedies, the way that you try to monetize these tragedies.
But what about the doxing? I thought that's what you were concerned about.
I'm really very, very, I don't know what word to use, proud or just happy or whatever with people like Forgotten Whispers, The Jane Show, Evil Ducky, just all these people that have gone out and started to upload videos showing what JLR is, knowing that JLR is this kind of creeper. And he's not a Betty. This is like you choking somebody now.
People have been calling them out for a long time.
Right now on video, you know, because JLR can't, he's been put into prison for stalking people, stalking their identities, and then wielding those identities to commit crimes to steal money from those people. And
pay close attention to this next comparison.
You just went and did this with him. You know it's wrong. You know I shouldn't have to say it. And
he accused Betty of doing that exact same thing with JLR. Yeah, not smart, Uni.
And it's just, if you want to be that, that's fine, but you should at least own it.
And that, my friends, is the end of part 2. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm sorry it was a long one, but context is important in this situation because the story has changed almost on an hourly basis at times over the last month. There's a hint of what's to come for part 3. I look forward to seeing you all soon. If you wouldn't mind, hit that thumbs up button on your way out. I appreciate you all. Have a wonderful day.
When we started, no, starting here after KB, if anybody wants to leave my channel, let us know and we'll go ahead and block you. So yeah, if you're not leaving the channel, that's fine. We'll let you tell us. So we'll just handle it. All right. What does she want from me? Let me know. And then that way I can give it to her. What do you think, Navy? What does she want?
Bubba, I don't know. Honestly, I tell you the truth. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to figure out.
I'll tell you this. When I criticize somebody, it's pretty damn obvious every time. Because, again, when you're criticizing someone, if you don't have a pass state and a fail state, it's not criticism. It's just bitching. It's just complaining. Right? If you don't give somebody a way to pass or a way to fail, then what are you doing? What's the point of the criticism? Just to complain or something, or what? So whatever she wants me to do to make her happy, whatever the past state is, I don't know why I'd be against that. If there's a reason I should be against that, chat, tell me, right? I think I was joking too. I was joking too. I'm not going to banning anybody.
Really, yeah.
Guys, see, I was trying to play into the troll that the people were putting in this chat earlier. I'm not going to ban you. I don't even perma-ban around here. If I ban you and you just message us, we'll unban you. It was I'm sorry. I got to stop making jokes, bro.
Well, the funny thing was, I know you, and some people may not, and you sounded very serious, and that's why I was laughing, because I know you, and I know it was a joke. Others are like,
I'm a good troll too, bro. I can troll too, man. I'm a good troll.